for those of you watching on CHL TV and on YouTube, we welcome you to Wednesday night in the Dub, an exciting new initiative in the Western Hockey League, bringing the game's best right to you free of charge. And we appreciate you and your patronage here this evening. We've got a good one on tap for you. The Silvertips riding into this one fresh off a 5-2 victory over the Seattle Thunderbirds, a game in which Carter Bear, NHL draft eligible this season as a late 06 birth year, nets a hat trick with all 3 goals assisted by Seattle Kraken second-round pick Julius Miettinen. It was a dynamic offensive performance for the Everett Silvertips. And in chatting with Steve Hamilton, head coach of the Everett Silvertips, prior to tonight's contest, he has praised that line, A, for Carter Bear's initiative in getting to the dirty areas as someone who is 6 foot, 6'1", kind of pushing that height differential. He's not the biggest player on the ice, but boy is he skilled both with his hands and with his tenacity in front. He has a penchant for getting beat up in front of the net and still earning his position. And you've seen that pay big dividends when coupled with his skill. And then you get Julius Miettinen down the middle, who is big, speedy, and rangy. All those attributes, head coach Steve Hamilton says that's what makes an NHL second-round pick. We turn you over now to the playing of the national anthems and the presentations of the nation's colors.
And now, for the performance of the Star-Spangled Banner, please welcome the Lakewood High School ASL.
period of Everett Silvertips hockey is brought to you by Tulalip Resort Casino, Washington's premier destination for luxurious accommodations and casino entertainment. And we welcome you to Wednesday night in the Dub on CHL TV and on YouTube. For those of us who are watching tonight's game, and for those listening on KRKO, we welcome you to the action as well. The Silvertips skating left to right on your CHL screens, wearing their home white sweaters with green and silver tree-line trim. The Lethbridge Hurricanes in their road black sweaters with neon red and blue Left Vegas style outlining. Starting lineups are presented by Wolf Plumbing and Wolf Fire Protection for the Lethbridge Hurricanes. On defense, Toronto Maple Leafs prospect Noah Chadwick starts alongside Tristan Doyle. Up front, it is overager Braden Edwards centering Logan Wormald to his left and Miguel Marcus to his right. Brady Smith gets the call in goal. The 19-year-old is 8-2-1 with a .324 goals against average and an .881 save percentage. Puck is dropped and away we go as the Silvertips starting out with Julius Miettinen centering Carter Bear to his right, Jesse Heslop to his left, Eric Jameson and Landon DuPont starting on defense with Alex Garrett in goal. Puck sent behind the Lethbridge net out towards the point where DuPont, the exceptional status D-man, plays it over for Bear. Throws it over to the far circle. Heslop, a turnaround shot turned away by Smith. A rebound loose far circle. Trying to steer it away as Doyle. Pressuring are the Silvertips, but skated out of danger by Edwards. He's met at center by Calgary Flames 6th rounder Jameson. Doyle will play it off the boards, and Jameson will settle. Starts up the left side, flicks it into the far side corner as the Tips get a forward line change. It's McKenzie taking the puck away. Looking to center for Raymond. Pass broken up. Raymond swoops in, gets it to the point. Here's Caden Hamill losing control of the puck. Trying to poke it forward, stolen away by Kozowski. And Cooper Kozowski will loft the puck into the near corner of the Silvertip zone. Hard hit behind the net as Brayar throws his weight into a hit. Trickling puck back towards the near side point. Will Sharp looking to his left for Cooper Kozowski. His shot attempt partially blocked off the glass, lands far corner. Pursuing is Shane Smith. Bouncing puck to the blue line. Long shot from distance by McCutcheon, sails wide. Brayar in the near corner. Looping it intended for Smith. Hops past his stick. McCutcheon behind the net. Scooped up by Hamill. And distributes to his right for Julian Mays. And away come the Silvertips. Minute and a half into the first. Mays enters in. Cuts to his left. Sharp angle shot. Awkwardly caught and held by Brady Smith. And he'll freeze 137 as it's left behind his net. Play beckoned onward. Jackson Vaughn will take a spin out onto the ice. Vaughn, the recent acquisition via trade from the Regina Pats. Tips send Caden Brown in a first off to Regina for the hard-hitting Vaughn as the puck is played from the neutral zone behind the Silvertip net. Rolling puck near corner. Vaughn gets his first touch of the puck. Takes a hit, separated from the puck by Gavin Lesiuk. Settled by Breck Liskey, thrown to center. Kane Wilkie over to his left, intended for Kaplan. Broken up. Wojtek Port over to the neutral zone. Ranging in the left side, Landon Ward rolls it around the boards. Kaysen Fisher gets a touch for the Silvertips, pressured by Lesiuk. Left by Ward, distributes to the point, long shot. By Adair, gets deflected wide into the far corner. Looking to escape are the Silvertips, but Hayden Pakala rejects the exit. And Eric Jameson will look for a new strategy outward. 2:40 gone by here in the first period as Jameson will settle. Smoked out from behind his net by Trey Johnson. Over to his right, DuPont. Centers for Kaplan as he enters up the left side. His low shot save and a rebound is sticked wide. DuPont into the corner for Clark Schaefer, who played a hard-nosed game on Saturday in Kent. Soft puck up for Cameron Norrie. Starting out with it are the Canes. To the neutral zone, met at center. Here's Owen Cooper cutting to his right. Spinning it out towards the blue line. Jameson setting up a wrister that's blocked. Turnaround chance far post. Chasko had it blocked away by Doyle. Loose along the kick plate. Chasko digging for it. Joined by Schaefer. One back to the point. Jameson with some space will loft it up into the air around behind the end line. Doyle will settle. And Tristan Doyle, the 18-year-old blue liner, over for Noah Chadwick. Turns it over at the blue line. Jameson trying to dance his way in. Stolen away. Brandon Edwards the other way. Edwards, a terrific scorer for the Lethbridge Hurricanes. Turnover in front. Wormald saved by Garrett. Loose far post. And it's steered into the boards by the Silvertips as Alex Garrett up to the task on his first official test. Bouncing puck back into the Lethbridge zone as here's a centering pass for Heslop intercepted. And away come the Canes. Sharp joining on the rush alongside Marcus. Bouncing puck for Wormold at his own blue line. To his left, Sharp. He'll angle it into the Silvertips end and go for a change. 4:10 of continuous action here at Angel of the Winds Arena as Miettinen crosses for Hamill left wing. Hamill entering in, joined by Tyler McKenzie, the overager. McKenzie stopped along the near side wall. Bouncing puck, holding to the slot for Raymond off his stick. Smith bringing up the rear, a low chance. Is gloved off the ice by Brady Smith. And we'll get a whistle finally, 4.5 minutes into the contest. Well, prior to tonight's game, Silvertips head coach Steve Hamilton said to expect a very similar style of play to what the Everett Silvertips bring to the table from Lethbridge. A very speed-oriented team predicated on possession, and their top line is one of the most dangerous in the league. Edwards riding an 11-game point streak. Wormold a 9-game point streak. Marcus a lethal goal scorer. Ozone draw one back for the Silvertips. Here's Terrence Smith up the left side. Feeds the slot. Deflected up into the Lethbridge bench. And we'll do it again from beside Brady Smith. As we take a look between the pipes with the plumbing physician, Brady Smith coming off of a 19-save victory against the Regina Pats back on Sunday the 10th. Smith 4-1 over his last 5 decisions. Someone who came from the Coquitlam Express in the BCHL as the Tips win a draw. Hamill looking up the left side, centering pass from Smith. Out of reach of everyone and left along the near wall. Gazowski protecting from Hamill. Works it to the neutral zone. Lead pass intended for Shane Smith, entering in offsides. And we'll get a whistle and a stoppage in play. As we take a look at tonight's officiating crew, presented by Silver Lake Eye Clinic, the referees are Jared Luco and Jake Podan. The lines people are Adam McMasters and Mark Heyer. The goal judge tonight is John Essex. Face-off in front of the Silvertip bench as Kaplan is on with Jackson Vaughn and Kane Wilkie. Vaughn will have a couple of youngins out on his line, though he himself a veteran of the league, still only 18 years old. As puck sent into the near corner of the Tips end. Lesiuk reaches back, gets it to the point for Adair. Has his stick tied up by Kaplan. Clearance attempt held in by Pakala. Bouncing puck to the slot. Kaplan moves it to his left for Wilkie, trying to one-hand it up for himself. He's cut off by Wojtek Port. Good play by Port. Around behind the Tips net. Jackson Vaughn right side. Angles it for Kaplan. As his exit passes off a defensive leg. The Canes have been doing a good job of getting bodies in the lane. As Liskey works it back for Case and Fisher. 5.5 into the first period. No scoring so far at Angel of the Winds Arena. It is Jamison out towards center. Owen Cooper up the right side. Lowers his shoulder, drives to the corner. Weak backhander, steered away by Smith. Cooper gets his own shot back. Rolls it along the far corner boards, taken by Doyle. Maneuvering it to his right for Norrie, who retreats behind his own end line. Doyle moves to Chadwick on the left wing. And Chadwick starts out. Deposits into the far corner of the tip zone, chopped up into the air. Bouncing along the wall. Fielded by the Canes. Motioned into the corner where DuPont will one-hand it back towards Nolan Chasko. Out come the Tips in transition. DuPont joining the rush along with Cooper and Chasko. Bouncing puck just out of reach of Chasko. Into the near side corner, it will trickle. One-hand poke check by Smith, trying to keep it in the O-zone. It's carried out by Chase Peterson. Leaves it for Trey Johnson, up into the air. Miguel Marcus gloves it for himself. Marcus tries a wrister. That's blocked by Smith, kept alive by Garrett. That caught the Silvertips off guard as Garrett poked it away from the crease rather than glove it. And here's Edwards working back in. Miettinen will settle for the Tips and back for Terrence Smith. And you see the aggressive forecheck of the Canes paying dividends as here's Marcus on the right side. Throws a chop at the puck, back for Edwards. Keeps it deep. And Wormold working his way in against Hamill. Tips forced back to their own end boards. Heslop ahead for Miettinen, racing forward in transition. Hits the brakes, down low for Bear, out of his reach. Here's Hamill, far corner, thrown towards Miettinen. Backhand pass finds Bear, right wing. At the circles, Edwards looking for Brayar, and now the Canes trying to break out of their own end. 7.5 into the first period. Hauled down from behind is Wormald as he was chased down by Raymond. And Julian Mays from center rattles it around the board. Smith unable to stymie. It continues its path to the near circle, taken now by Doyle. Tristan Doyle, Bonneville, Alberta native, crossing over to the Maple Leafs sixth-rounder Chadwick. Has his pass picked off. Mays entering in with numbers. Centering pass broken up by Chadwick. He gets it back. Glides behind the Lethbridge net in front for McKenzie. Tap back for Raymond. Couldn't get a shot off. Mays in the corner. Feeds Raymond. His chance. Saved by Smith. Rebound loose far post. It squibs behind the end line. McKenzie will field. Out to the point. Kaysen Fisher squares and shoots. He sends it wide. Good idea by Fisher. He didn't miss the net by much. It's Cooper Gazowski playing it ahead for Smith, right wing. Centering pass just out of reach, as it was Peterson left in front. Kaysen Fisher out with it for the Tips. To center, Julian Mays evades a forechecker. Lofts it to the corner where Kaplan throws his weight into a hit on Carson Adair. Out with it comes Jackson Vaughn. Pressed against the glass. Wilkie keeping it behind the Lethbridge net. Adair ranging over for it. He takes a heavy hit from Vaughn, such is his game. Jackson Vaughn skating behind the end line. It's Wilkie. To the far corner, Kaplan with Vaughn setting up net front. Kaplan cycles for Wilkie, bouncing back along the left wing. Kaplan to the point for Jamison. Holding at the blue line as DuPont to his right, looks him off, shot tipped wide. Adair pressured by Wilkie. Some good pressure being applied by this line as they're still getting acclimated to one another. Wilkie and Kaplan usually have Bo Courtney down the middle, out with an upper body injury as DuPont holds near point. Not to mention Vaughn still getting his feet wet in the Silvertip uniform, acquired on Saturday, and he's had all of 2 days worth of practice really to get acclimated to his surroundings. 9:40 gone by in the first. Here's Kaplan left side. His sharp angle shot that's deflected up into the netting, out of play. And we'll reach the first media timeout of the period. 10:17 left in the first, no score. You are listening to Sound Transit Tips Hockey and watching Wednesday Night in the Dub on Everett's Greatest Hits, KRKO.
This is the sound of a racing heart. It's beating a little faster because it belongs to a young child. But this child isn't in the middle of a close soccer game or playing with her puppy in the yard. Her heart is racing because she's just been told she has to move foster homes again. Change a child's story. There's a child waiting for a volunteer like you. Learn how you can help at casaforchildren.org.
We're proud to announce Kelly Create is one of our game day sponsors. Cyber attacks can sneak up on you like a blindside check from a goon, aiming to knock your teeth out and leaving you staring at the roof of the barn. Let's not let that happen. For IT, cybersecurity, and all your technology needs, let Kelly Create help you get back to running the business you set out to run in the first place. Visit us at KELLEY create.com.
Casey Bryant back on the Everett Silvertips radio network. The Silvertips and Lethbridge Hurricanes scoreless here at Angel of the Winds Arena with 10:17 left in the opening period. Casey Bryant back on the Silvertips radio network alongside Wednesday Night in the Dub for those watching on YouTube and on CHL TV. Face off to the right of Brady Smith, as the Tips have Julius Miettinen, the Kraken second-round pick, with Carter Bear to his left, Jesse Heslop to his right. Heslop in his second year of NHL draft eligibility, Bear in his first, though they are both 06 birth years. Face-off won by Lethbridge. Exit attempt looking for Wormald on the left side, battling with Ducks third-rounder Taryn Smith. Up the near wall, back to retrieve is Wormald. Centering pass for Edwards, just shanked wide. Looking for the stuff-in try at the near post. Up ice for Heslop out of his reach. Sharp will take for Lethbridge up the right wing for Marcus. Backhanded intended for Sharp, carrying in. Lost control of the puck. Sharp will recuperate along the near wall. Along the kick plate, Terrence Smith out for Bear. Looking rink wide for Heslop out of his reach. Canes time the entry. Doyle left wing. Backhander. Toe save by Garrett. Picked up by Heslop, who starts charging up the right wing, gets by Marcus, cuts to the heart of the ice, Heslop to his backhand, forced into the near corner with some space, looking to lead McKenzie. Joined along the near corner boards by Mays, battling for it against Doyle. Advantage Doyle as he wins it to Kozowski. Met on the near wall by Raymond, pokes it to McKenzie, working his way in, centering pass broken up. And you see all of those lanes hunting for the net front, and the Canes have done an excellent job of closing things down in front of the crease and working outward. So far, so good for both sides in their defensive standing. As it is Julian Mays, 07 birth year, starting up the heart of the ice. Has a defender in front of him, forced wide. Here's a rising shot by Raymond that misses. Liskey at the point. His long chance is blocked down by the legs of Carson Adair. Battle for it along the near wall. Peterson against Raymond. Peeling it away is Kozowski. He flips it out towards Wojtek Port. Port working against Fisher. Turns on the Jets and sends a wrister into the midsection of Alex Garrett. Well, Garrett has assumed the number one job for now in lieu of Jesse Saunch's upper body injury that has kept him out for the last couple of games. And the Tips awaiting an official reevaluation on Saunch to be coming this weekend. So in the interim, they have Garrett, and they have recently signed Bemidji State commit Raiden Legal, who was on the Silvertips protected list, attended training camp back in the fall, and will serve as backup tonight wearing the number 35, having just officially had his signing announced this morning. Things moving awfully quick for the Manitoban. Here's Owen Cooper up the left side for the Tips, dropping it back for Schaefer. His shot and a shoulder save made by Smith. Clark Schaefer with a nice rising wrister. Up to the task is Smith, using his 6'1 frame to his advantage. Sharp with a stretch pass out of reach of everybody, and so it will be icing against Lethbridge with 7:55 remaining in the first. Another note on Raiden Legal, the newest Silvertip. 7-7-1 this year for the Niverville Nighthawks in the MJHL. A 246 goals against and a 921 save percentage already with 2 shutouts. A former MVP in the Manitoba U18 Hockey League back in 2022-23 when he was with the Pembina Valley Hawks. So the Tips getting another qualified goaltending prospect as they win an O-zone draw and flip it into the near corner. Heslop bounces off of Sharp, looking for Mietin in near post. Broken up and carried away. A good play by Peterson. Joined on the rush by Sharp, and a wrister from the blue line upon entry is gloved down by Garrett. Alex Garrett himself has quite the pedigree at the U18 level. In that 22-23 season, he earned an SMW AAA HL championship with the Saskatoon Blazers, where he won it with Kane Wilkie, whose older brother Trey is a former Lethbridge Hurricane. Face off to the left of Garrett. Hayden Pakala winning it back to the blue line, but puck dropped erroneously, so we'll do it again. Pakala up front with Gavin Lesiuk to his right, and Landon Ward to his left. Ward, an attendee of Ottawa Senators camp this past summer. Face-off is won back by Lethbridge. Pakala nudges it along the end wall, looking for Ward. Back for Pakala, who's crunched against the boards by Liskey. One back to Kaysen Fisher. Attempted clearance, held in by the captain Chadwick. Back to Lesiuk, long shot, deflected wide. Liskey pokes it along the boards. Wilkie will come over for support and play it out to center. Jackson Vaughn in a foot race with Chadwick. Vaughn lifts the stick, hauled down from behind. No call coming as Kaplan trying to get it back towards Fisher at the blue line, and it's cleared away by Lethbridge. Tips bench was tittering. They had wanted a tripping call against Lethbridge, as it is a long shot by Wilkie that's blocked. Poked back, McKenzie one-hands it for himself. His sharp angle shot off the side of the cage. McKenzie digging for it against both Doyle and a loose stick. Just the blade that is in the trapezoid area as Wormald carries away for Lethbridge. Separated from the puck, Smith has one on. Off the boards. Looking to clear, it's centered for Caden Hamill, who sauces for McKenzie, ahead 3-on-3. McKenzie will shoot it around the board. Smith behind his net to stop it. Out to the point. Backhanded deep by Raymond. Finds Mays. Spinning away from a man in the corner in port. Out to the blue line, over the stick of Terrence Smith. And he'll retreat. 6 minutes remaining in the first period. No scoring so far. Hamill at the blue line. Wheedles it down low for Raymond. Holding on his forehand to the corner. Out in front for Mays. Turned away by Smith. Prime opportunity for Mays and a good pass by Raymond. That's sneaky. In the neutral zone, Prayar finagles the puck by Caden Hamill on his backhand. To Sharp near point. His wrister sticked away by Garrett. Up into the netting, out of play with 5:36 remaining in the first. We'll take our second media timeout. You're listening to Sound Transit Tips Hockey on KRKO, and you're watching Wednesday Night in the Dub on YouTube and CHL TV.
Experience Tulalip Resort Casino, our premier luxury getaway with a 4-diamond hotel and spa. Incredible restaurants from fast fare to fine dining, and one of the largest casinos in America. Quilceda Creek Casino, where you can eat, drink, and play, where the entertainment and excitement never stop. And Tulalip Bingo and Slots, our classic casino with your favorite machines, tasty bites, and the best bingo around. 3 casinos, limitless fun, when all you want is everything.
High school sports are all about teamwork, dedication, and community. Just like Brian Ruiz Insurance, proudly sponsoring our local athletes. Brian Ruiz Insurance is here to protect what matters most to you. From home and auto to life and business coverage, we've got you covered. Visit brianruiz.com to get started today. That's Ruiz with an R. See how we can help you secure your future. Brian Ruiz Insurance, where your protection is our priority. brianruiz.com.
Casey Bryant back on the Everett Silvertips radio network. It is Wednesday night in the Dub. The Silvertips and Lethbridge Hurricanes scoreless here with 5:36 remaining in the first period. Face off to the right of Alex Garrett. And it is still, in my mind, mid-November, but they are playing Want a Hippopotamus for Christmas in the arena. So it's about that time. Canadians, I suppose, have been in that mindset for a couple of weeks now. Their Thanksgiving was a while ago. I'll happily be a Grinch waiting for things to get by American Thanksgiving before anything remotely resembling Christmas carols, especially Hippopotamus for Christmas, comes over my airwaves. No, thank you. 5:26 remaining in the first. Silvertips iced it off a D-zone draw. So we'll come on back towards Alex Garrett, who to this point is 8 for 8. It is Edwards centering Marcus lined up to his left, Wormald to his right. One over to his right. As Jamison gets a stick on it, wins it over towards DuPont. Holding in the corner. DuPont intended for Heslop. And Heslop intended for Bear out of his reach. And no icing on the play. McCutcheon and Mietten in a foot race for the puck. Tapped back to Jamison at the point. Skied around the boards. Racing for it, Miettinen to DuPont. A drive that's blocked. Into the near corner, it will trickle. Jesse Heslop cycles it with Bear right wing. Bear across the slot looking for Jamison. Broken up by McCutcheon and cleared out to Marcus. Intended for Wormald. He's cut off from the puck by DuPont, who takes a couple of hardy stick checks and keeps on carrying in. Here's Landon DuPont with a nice entry. Couldn't get a shot off as his stick was tied up by Sharp, but a nice play all the same. Here's Jackson Vaughn, right wing. Dropping it back towards Kaplan. Joined by Wilkie at the near circles. Pakala will steal for the Canes and over towards Wormald, who will dump and change as both he and Marcus make their way back towards the bench. Kaysen Fisher from his own end. Over to his left. Jackson Vaughn in with numbers. Vaughn left wing. He shoots off the bar. Loose at the blue line. It's Liskey for Vaughn. Trying to give to Wilkie. He ran out of room. Too close together, and so the Canes are able to escape. Jackson Vaughn mere inches away from a goal in his Silvertip debut. Far circle of his own end. Lucas Kaplan starts ahead 3-on-3. From center, he'll shoot it off a glass stanchion. It lands onto the stick of Noah Chadwick. Over to his right, Gavin Lesiuk. Centers for Peterson. Stripped of the puck by Raymond. As a pile-up in front of the Silvertip net, Terrence Smith has to disentangle with Landon Ward. McCutcheon from the blue line. Around the board, sharp angle shot off the shoulder of Garrett. Rebound, tuck and try from near post is smothered by Garrett. And he'll hang on with 3:31 to go in the first period. Well, Noah Chadwick with a good keep in on that play at the far post to set that whole play in motion. Chadwick in his 4th WHL season. His parents in the stands where they once called this their home arena, as Noah Chadwick's older brother Ethan Chadwick was the Silvertips goaltender last year. Now off at the University of Saskatchewan, got his first taste of U Sports action just this past weekend, earning a victory in a 7-1 game. So good for Ethan Chadwick. Silvertips win a D-zone draw, clear it out towards center. Dominic Raymond crisscrosses with Mays. Hands off at the blue line. Mays cutting to his left, feeds Raymond a drive, that's wide. Snap pass by Smith, finds its way over to the doorstep. McKenzie, a backhander, turned away by Smith. Hamill behind the net. Mays takes a heavy check, separated from the puck. It's left for McKenzie. Geometric pass to Raymond, over to his right. Mays with McKenzie plotted net front. Looping pass finds McKenzie, trying to quick touch it over to Mays. Broken up, loose puck near circles, and batted towards the blue line, kept in by Clark Schaefer. Fielded by McCutcheon, and he'll finish the job and get it to center, not much further, as here's Hamill. Cutting to his right, Hamill on his backhand, squares to the net, rising shot under the chin of Smith, and he's got it covered. And we'll get a pile up in the creases. Now McKenzie has a talking to, as Shane Smith comes up and jostles with the veteran McKenzie. McKenzie and Shane Smith last year were both Medicine Hat Tigers teammates. Shane Smith, 51 points in 64 games played for Medicine Hat. Tyler McKenzie was his captain in Med Hat, and now seeing a little bit of nastiness between the two of them. And we saw a little bit of that when McKenzie made his return to the Eastern Conference earlier this year when he played in Prince Albert against Tomas Mrsic. There were a couple of gloved blows between the two of them. No love lost in the game of hockey. Best of friends off the ice, but mortal enemies on it. Such is the nature of the game. Canes win the draw and work it up the right side. Marcus dropping it back to Wormold, finding Edwards' far circle. Angled back to the point. Doyle crosses for Chadwick. Noah Chadwick winds and fires. Kick save made by Garrett. Lively bounce out to the point. Chadwick gets it back. High slot to his left. Edwards curling with the puck. Moving to his right. His low wrister saved by Garrett. And a rebound is gloved off the ice by Garrett. 2:09 to go in the first. And good tracking there by Garrett as the Canes able to move it from side to side, having to keep Garrett's eyes moving. Garrett himself having a little bit of familiarity, too, with the Canes, having been a Calgary Hitman last year. The Hitman, who, if rumors are to be believed, could be active on the trade market. Whispers already starting to come out about a major move for the Hitmen that remains to be confirmed officially from each team, but John Keane, voice of the Kamloops Blazers, doing some reporting and some digging. And we'll keep our eyes peeled. Puck played all the way back behind the Lethbridge net. It is Logan McCutcheon at the near circles. Threads the needle ahead towards Cameron Norrie. Broken up by Landon DuPont, and Jamison, his stick fails him on the clearance attempt. Norrie trying to poke it back to the blue line. Fortunately for Jamison, Chasko is able there to pick up the loose change. Up for Cooper left side. Owen Cooper met by McCutcheon. Quick passing out to Peterson. Peterson racing forward. Pushes the puck towards the crease, covered up by Garrett. And Peterson, as he was skating up the right side, glided right into the stick of Jamison. And it's not like it's a short stick to get around either. Jamison, one of the larger presences on the Silvertips, 6'3". A 204-pound D-man who will join the Calgary Flames system when his time in the WHL is done. Taken 177th overall in the 6th round this past summer. One of 3 tips to hear their name called at the Sphere. Face off to the left of Alex Garrett. Edwards wins it to the point for Doyle. Feeds Marcus high slot. Miguel Marcus with a wrister. That's covered up by Garrett. Heavy traffic in front. And Garrett able to fight his way through as Terrence Smith was trying to box out Wormold in front of the net. And Smith himself was a 3rd-round pick to Anaheim this past summer. was in person for the draft at the Sphere and took his off-season training regimen very seriously as an 18-year-old. The physical transformation is noticeable. Gained 15 pounds worth of muscle from last year to this year, coming in at 6'2", 190. And the skill was always evident, but now there's a physicality to his game that continues to improve. And you see him there battling in front of his net. That is how Steve Hamilton wants his blue liners to play, and they all have embraced it. Face-off won by the Canes. It is Edwards back towards the blue line and forced ahead by Dominic Raymond into the neutral zone. Rolling puck for Doyle in his own end, retreating from McKenzie. Doyle, one-handed by Marcus deep into the tip zone. Garrett paddles the puck out to the far wall. Look out, turnover. Marcus whistles it wide. Final minute of play here in the first. Scoreless here in the first period. Edwards behind his net, pressed against the glass. Terrence Smith out to the circle, coughed up. Here's Chadwick, left wing, a shot toe saved by Garrett. Rebound is picked up by Smith. 45 seconds left as Smith has Mays up the left wing, looks him off, slaloms through the neutral zone. Smith carrying it to his left, his wrister that misses wide. Cut off by Kaplan at the near point, keeping it deep for Mays in the trapezoid. Mays in the corner with 30 seconds left, joined by Kaplan and Jackson Vaughn. Scrum forward in the far side corner. To Marcus, tries to clear, cut off by Liskey at the blue line. 20 seconds, Liskey to the net. Missed deflection in front, off the end boards, and cleared out to center where Marcus is one-on-one against Liskey. Slows up Marcus. Passes it into the corner, barreling into his own netminder on the back check was Vaughn. And with 6 seconds left, we will get a stoppage in play. Vaughn had a stick tied up, and as the puck went careening into the corner, Vaughn took out his own netminder. And both Vaughn and Garrett come away with it no worse for wear. That's a nice little how do you do to your new teammate. Getting real up close and personal. 6 seconds left in the period. Face off to the right of Alex Garrett. Pakala on with Ward and Lesiuk for one last ozone chance for Lethbridge. They win it back to McCutcheon, crossing to the slot. One-timer by Sharp is fanned on. Into the far corner. That will do it for the opening period of play. Scoreless here at Angel of the Winds Arena. Shots on goal presented by Levitt Group Northwest. 14 for the Hurricanes, 11 for the Everett Silvertips, as we are without any scoring here on a Wednesday night in the Dub. We thank all those watching on CHL TV and on YouTube, and all those listening to the Sound Transit Silvertips Radio Network on KRKO. When we come back, we'll check in with Silvertips defender Landon DuPont, as prior to tonight's contest, he had a sit-down interview with the WHL's own Cammie Kepke. That interview coming up next. You are listening to Sound Transit Tips Hockey on KRKO.
It's a homestand week at Angel of the Winds Arena. Friday at 7, the Silvertips host the Spokane Chiefs for a hockey happy hour. Tickets are available at everettsilvertips.com.
Now DuPont at the circles. His wrister, he scores! Landon DuPont with a power play goal. It's 3-1 Silvertips.
Everett Silvertips hockey, forever for Everett.
I was 17 and a fender bender and scared to death. Dad says, don't worry about it, son. Bob will take care of everything. So I'm thinking, who the heck's Bob? Turns out Bob's our Levitt Group Northwest insurance agent. He takes care of our home, cars, even the family business. See, Levitt Group works with most major insurance companies, getting you the best coverage and rates. I have my own family now, but I still call Bob. You should too at gocallbob.com. Gocallbob.com. Insurance the Northwest trusts. Get it at Levitt.
Dwayne Lane's Auto Family is celebrating 70 years of taking care of customers. Dwayne Lane's has 8 new car franchises: Subaru, Jeep, Dodge, Ram, Chrysler, Chevrolet, Mazda, and Ford cars and trucks, and a great selection of pre-owned to choose from in all price ranges. Locations at Everett, Arlington, and Burlington, or worldwide at DwayneLane.com. Give us a shot and you'll score. DwayneLane.com.
Dwayne Lane's Auto Family will take care of you. When a player commits a penalty, he has to sit in the box. But when a driver injures you in a crash, the insurance company treats you like the bad guy. At Dubin Law, we stand up to the insurance companies and fight for every client's compensation. And there's never a fee until you win. Don't get put in the box. Call us today at 425-800-8000 or find us at DubinLawGroup.com. Dubin Law. Tough, reliable, human. Go Tips.
The first intermission is brought to you by Dwayne Lane's Family of Auto Centers. Dwayne Lane's. Discover why they have so many loyal customers.
Casey Bryant back on the Everett Silvertips Radio Network, and you are watching Wednesday Night in the Dub on WHL Live and YouTube through 20 minutes here at Angel of the Winds Arena in the much-anticipated matchup between the Everett Silvertips and the Central Division leading Lethbridge Hurricanes, a matchup of best on best here in their respective divisions. And prior to tonight's contest, Landon DuPont sat down to chat with WHL media personality Cammie Kepke. We tune in now to their sit-down interview recorded just before tonight's contest.
We're joined now by Everett Silvertips defenseman Landon DuPont. Landon, thanks for taking the time to chat today.
Yeah, thank you.
So Silvertips are leading the league. You have 7 straight wins at home, looking to make it 8 against the Hurricanes on Wednesday. What has made the Silvertips such a strong team this season?
Yeah, I just think we're a really close group. Like, we're not afraid to get in the dirty areas and go to work, get pucks behind the D-men, and just make their life hard.
And it really looks like you haven't missed a beat stepping into the league. You're leading rookie defenseman in points. You've got 18 in 16 games, a really impressive plus 16 rating. How have you adjusted your game to this level?
Yeah, obviously it's a big jump, but I think just my coaching staff and my teammates have really helped me adapt to the league and kind of get my feet wet as the games progress.
How does it feel for you, though, to see those points and those goals coming?
Yeah, obviously it's nice. Gets your confidence up a bit, but, just try my best every game to help my team win.
Did you have a welcome to the WHL kind of moment yet?
Yeah. There's a couple where you kind of just get steamrolled and kind of danced. I think there was one with Braden Yeager that was pretty bad on my part, so that was pretty bad on my part.
Well, I don't think there's any shame in getting danced by a guy like that.
Yeah.
Is there any aspect of your game that you feel has really started to develop since coming to Major Junior?
Yeah, I think just like my play without the puck and just always knowing where my guy is, like such a fast game, just knowing where your guy is in the D zone really helps and keeps the puck out of your net.
You've been getting some reps alongside NHL prospects like Terrence Smith, Caden Hamill, Eric Jameson. What kind of habits do you notice in their games that you can kind of apply to yourself?
Yeah, they have great habits for sure. Like every day they come to the rink, they stretch, they eat the right things, they make sure they drink a lot of water. So, just having those guys that you can kind of just look up to and see what they do on a regular basis really helps kind of set yourself up for that same success as they have.
Is there anyone on the team who's really helped you adjust to life and hockey in the WHL?
Yeah, I have 2 billet brothers, Carter Bear and Jesse Heslop. They help a lot on and off the ice. Like on the ice, they're always, taking the time to, after practice, just work on our shots or whatever. And then off the ice too, just making sure like we're eating right and getting the right nutrition.
So for Wednesday night in the Dub, you'll be hosting the Lethbridge Hurricanes. They're leading their division. They're a top Eastern Conference team right now. What makes them a dangerous group to face?
Yeah, I think just they have a bunch of star D-men, and they have D-men that aren't afraid to jump in the rush, and that's hard to defend. Like it's almost like having 5 forwards on the ice. You always gotta know where your guy is in the D zone, like I said. And, just having those top prospects to defend is really hard.
You mentioned it there. One of their top prospects is their captain and Toronto Maple Leafs prospect, Noah Chadwick. What does it take down to shut down somebody like that?
Yeah, obviously he's got lots of skill and he's a big player as well. I think just like I said, just make sure you get in his gear and take away his time and space. Like our forwards just got to be hard on him in all 3 zones. And so, yeah, just taking away his time and space is what's going to work best.
You also just got back from earning a silver medal with Canada Red at the World U17 Hockey Challenge. What lessons were you able to take away from your time in Ontario?
Yeah, obviously it was a great opportunity we had, and it was lots of fun just meeting all those new players from all three different leagues and playing with them was super special. And, you know, I think the biggest lesson that we learned was just coming together quickly and knowing what our roles were. Like, everyone had different roles that some people played different roles that they don't play on their usual teams, but I feel like just staying humble and doing your job is what really helps for the team.
Awesome. Well, thanks for taking the time today, Landon, and best of luck on Wednesday.
Thank you.
That's Silvertips defenseman Landon DuPont, and a special thanks to Cammie Kepke in the WHL office for recording that interview. We'll be right back with Everett Silvertips taking on the Lethbridge Hurricanes. First intermission report, out-of-town scoreboard coming up next. You are watching Wednesday Night in the Dub on WHL Live and YouTube, and Sound Transit Silvertips Hockey on KRKO.
At Bricks and Minifigs, discover a world of Lego where imagination thrives and possibilities are endless. Whether you're a seasoned builder or just starting out, Bricks and Minifigs is filled with a treasure trove of new and used Lego sets, minifigs, bulk bricks, and hard-to-find collectibles. Opening soon in South Everett, Bricks and Minifigs, your premier destination for all things Lego. Rebuild, reuse, reimagine. To find a store near you, visit bricksandminifigs.com.
Craving the taste of Port of Subs? Whether you're powering through work or in the middle of a game, get the fast track to flavor with our easy online delivery. Fresh baked bread with premium meats and cheeses, fresh veggie toppings, and savory sauces. You'll never have to leave your zone. Get the Port of Subs taste you crave. Order online at portofsubs.com or download the Port of Subs app today for easy ordering, Port Perks rewards, and freshness at your fingertips.
Slice fresh sandwiches, Port of Subs.
We've all had to change plans or miss events over the last couple of years. We're ready to spend more time together. And fewer sick days mean more time with friends and family. The COVID-19 vaccine is a safe, effective way to lower the chance of severe illness. Keep yourself and your loved ones safe and healthy. Get vaccinated, get boosted, and get more time together. Learn more at www.snohd.org/COVID vaccine.
Suffering with knee pain? Visit Dr. Gill and team at Symmetria Integrative Medical in Marysville, the leader for stem cell therapy in Snohomish County. Dr. Gill and team treat patients for knee pain and arthritis, helping you avoid painful knee surgery. You might be a candidate for stem cell therapy, so schedule an appointment today at 360-659-6554 or visit online symmetriamedical.com. Symmetria Integrative Medical, the leader for stem cell therapy in Snohomish County.
Casey Bryant back on the Everett Silvertips Radio Network, and welcome back to Wednesday Night in the Dub on YouTube and CHL TV. Well, we have a moment to ourselves. Let's check in around the Western Hockey League and more with our Coca-Cola out-of-town scoreboard. Starting out in the Eastern Conference, the Edmonton Oil Kings ahead 4-1 on the Victoria Royals. And an interesting scenario prior to tonight's contest. Both teams wore white in their warm-up gear, so since the Victoria Royals only brought their whites, I would imagine the Edmonton Oil Kings, without having seen any of the game itself as of right now, I imagine they switched over to their reds and just making things a little bit busier for their equipment managing staff, so just keeping people on their toes down there. It is 4-1 Edmonton through 2. Meanwhile, in Prince Albert, they've gone final in overtime as Hunter St. Martin delivers an OT winner a minute and 18 seconds into the extra frame. The Raiders had tied it with a minute and 24 seconds left on the clock, but the Tigers able to pull away with a win. They put up 55 shots on net to Prince Albert, earning 2 points. Good on the Raiders for being able to eke one out there. In Regina, that game went to extra time as well. The Tri-City Americans shootout victors against the Regina Pats, as the Pats had come up with an equalizing goal, 4:25 into the third off the stick of Zach Shantz. But ultimately, the Americans, with back-to-back victories, after dropping 2 in a row, they've won 2 in a row. And that, of course, coming on the heels of a 12-game winning streak for Tri-City. And in Kelowna, the Rockets up 1-0 on the Wenatchee Wild at the end of 20 minutes. In the NHL, the Toronto Maple Leafs 3-0 victors over the Vegas Golden Knights. The Carolina Hurricanes take 2 points over Philadelphia, a 4-1 final at the Wells Fargo Center. Dallas Stars 5-2 victors over the San Jose Sharks. 5 minutes remaining in the first period down at Climate Pledge Arena. No score between the Kraken and the Nashville Predators. And 6.5 minutes into play in the first period in L.A., the Kings and Buffalo Sabres are scoreless. That is your Coca-Cola out-of-town scoreboard. We'll be back with more of the First Intermission Report on the Sound Transit Silvertips Radio Network and on Wednesday night in the Dub on YouTube and CHL TV.
Althea of Althea's Footwear Solutions in Everett on what makes her store different.
We work with the ill and injured foot, but we also work with that person that has a wider than average foot. That's a customer that we can help. If you have just minor, like hammer toes or things that are not going to fit in a traditional shoe comfortably, then that's somebody that we can help and assist.
Althea's Footwear Solutions at 1932 Broadway in Everett, now in Lakewood and Tacoma, and online at altheasfootwearsolutions.com.
America, there's no debate about it. It's time to unite the states. Join us at your local bar and at venues across this great nation to take a break from the daily grind with Bud Light. Buddies, at a party we can all agree on. It's time for us all to raise one to right now and kick off happy hour across the country.
Give your event that extra wow with Russell's Restaurant. Russell's can cater your event or host it at the Loft, just off 405 in Canyon Park. Weddings, corporate events, fundraisers, parties, and private dining make it memorable with Russell's. Raise a toast with an espresso martini, or show your appreciation with a double-cut pork chop with an apple brandy demi-glaze. In the gorgeous accommodations at Russell's. Plan your event now at russelllowell.com. Simple food done well. russelllowell.com.
Whether you're talking about a building or a sports team, the foundation has to be strong. Smoky Point Concrete and Skagit Ready Mix have been a big part of so many strong foundations across the community, and they're not going anywhere. Concrete, sealants, aggregates, and so much more, supplying the best contractors around. Servicing the community for over 4 decades, Smoky Point Concrete believes in building teams and communities the old-fashioned way, the same way that has served us all for so many years. Proud to support local sports. SmokyPointConcrete.com.
Casey Bryant back on the Everett Silvertips Radio Network, and you are watching Wednesday Night in the Dub on WHL Live and on YouTube. The Everett Silvertips scoreless with the Lethbridge Hurricanes here through 20 minutes, a game that saw a lot of broken up passes, blocked shots, and akin to two boxers feeling each other out in the early rounds of a match, you know, trying to see who is going to make the first mistake. And there were a couple of holes in the defenses to where the Hurricanes had a couple of odd-man rushes that went uncapitalized on. Jackson Vaughn hit a post, but so far, nothing doing. And when I, of course, use the analogy of boxing, I'm of course, referring to something a little more entertaining than Paul versus Tyson. But, anyway, the Everett Silvertips getting ready to battle the Lethbridge Hurricanes coming up in the second period. A reminder that you can get your tickets at everettsilvertips.com. The Tips will be back home on Friday night hosting Berkeley Catton and the Spokane Chiefs. First crack at the Chiefs, who have started off the year on a hot note. An exciting matchup, and be sure to head to everettsilvertips.com and you'll get a ticket and drink combo redeemable for the beverage of your choice. Again, that's everettsilvertips.com. And you can follow along at WHL Silvertips on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter for all essential updates and breaking news on the team going forward. It's been a busy couple of weeks, both in the roster management side of things and some league awards handed out at the end of last month. And there's plenty of intrigue around the WHL's top team. So make sure you're following across all social platforms and keeping an eye on what is sure to be a busy 2024-25 campaign. Tips and Canes, second period coming up next. You are listening to Sound Transit Tips Hockey on KRKO and Wednesday Night in the Dub on WHL and YouTube.
What does full-service banking actually look like? If you're looking for the basics, People's Bank offers checking and savings accounts, and we can help with all of your other financial needs too. Whether you have a business, you have a family, you're looking to buy a home or invest, People's Bank can help with that. We're in Whatcom, Skagit, Island, Snohomish, King, Chelan, and Douglas counties. And we don't only work there, we live there too. So maybe you haven't thought of People's Bank as a full-service bank. Maybe it's time to think again. When you think banking, think People's Bank. Member FDIC.
When a player commits a penalty, he has to sit in the box. But when a driver injures you in a crash, the insurance company treats you like the bad guy. At Dubin Law, we stand up to the insurance companies and fight for every client's compensation. And there's never a fee until you win. Don't get put in the box. Call us today at 425-800-8000 or find us at DubinLawGroup.com. Dubin Law. Tough, reliable, human. Go Tips.
But soft, what light through yonder windshield breaks? They are, tail lights, aglow with red for miles on end. On my wit, it hath been proclaimed, the Link light rail is expanding. Begone, driver's seat. Away with you, devilish traffic, for tomorrow I ride.
Skip the drama of traffic. Ride Sound Transit. Explore 4 new stations on the one line from Shoreline to Linwood, now open.
Craving the taste of Port of Subs? Whether you're powering through work or in the middle of a game, get the fast track to flavor with our easy online delivery. Fresh baked bread with premium meats and cheeses, fresh veggie toppings, and savory sauces. You'll never have to leave your zone. Get the Port of Subs taste you crave. Order online at portofsubs.com or download the Port of Subs app today for easy ordering, Port Perks rewards, and freshness at your fingertips.
Slice fresh sandwiches, Port of Subs.
Casey Bryant back on the Everett Silvertips Radio Network. The Silvertips getting ready to play the Lethbridge Hurricanes. Second period is brought to you by Great Clips, and you are watching Wednesday night in the Dub, WHL Live and YouTube. We welcome all of you in this exciting new initiative from the WHL. Silvertips skating right to left on your YouTube screens. 11 shots on goal for the Tips. 14 in the first period for Lethbridge. Neither team has broken through. Puck is dropped, and away we go as the Silvertips, starting with Miettinen, Bear, and Heslop, with Jamison and DuPont, work the puck into the offensive zone. Taken by the Canes. Here comes Edwards to his left. Wormald, his wrister is blocked by the stick of DuPont. Behind the net, Jamison over to his right. DuPont quickly back over for Jamison. Miscommunication as Marcus pounces on it. He feeds Wormald at the top of the near circles. To the blue line, wrister tipped and wide. As Jamison holds in the corner. Marcus cuts off near wing. Wormald around the shoot. Pinching in his Chadwick off his skates. Miettinen takes. He's got some space. A 3-on-2. Miettinen holds up off the skates of DuPont and wide. As he was looking across the slot intended for Bear, and DuPont just a hair ahead of the play. Rejected back towards Terrence Smith, who crosses for Hamill. And Hamill shoots it around the boards. Smith gets a piece of it, not enough. Into the near corner, it will roll. Shane Smith at the near side boards. 3 Smiths out on the ice right now as Terrence Smith crosses over for Caden Hamill. Into the corner, it's McKenzie. Walking back towards the blue line, feeds Hamill, a one-timer that's blocked. And rejected all the way back into the neutral zone as Cooper Gazowski will take. He enters in with numbers. Shane Smith left side, getting a piece of it, Garrett. Off the right shoulder as McCutcheon creases the blue line looking for Sharp. Poked back to center. McKenzie up with Mays. As McKenzie from the logo will deposit in deep and go for a change himself. Up the left side, Smith. His wrister, that misses high and wide. Bounces to Lesiuk right wing. Jackson Vaughn along the wall, Logan McCutcheon. An Iron Man of sorts for the Lethbridge Hurricanes. He's only missed 1 game in his entire WHL career, and this is his 5th season. It is Kaplan up the left side. That being, of course, full seasons to be played. It is Breck Liskey retreating back in front of the box doors. Over to his left, picked up by Landon Ward, dropping it back in a slapper that's blocked. Loose puck in front, scooped by Jackson Vaughn, off the glass, bouncing to center and away. As Wojtek Port closes off Lucas Kaplan from the puck. Port leaves it for Carson Adair. Up the right side, Lesiuk slows up, drops for Pakala. Out to the high slot, he finds Trey Johnson. He waits and shoots, saved by Garrett. Rebound is loose at the top of the crease. Reaching for it is Johnson, unable to get it to the net mouth. Back to Chadwick, holding at the blue line, crossing now for Port. Wojtek Port, the Ducks prospect. Backhands it for Johnson in the corner. Around behind for Lesiuk. Out to the blue line, Port. Evades the flying stick check of Wilkie. His wrister gloved by Garrett. And he'll hang on. Wojtek Port getting a spin. His second game with the Lethbridge Hurricanes since coming over in a deal back on the 15th from Moose Jaw for 06-born D-man Ryder Ellis, a second and a third. And the Canes have positioned themselves as buyers as we push ever closer. It's still a distant WHL trade deadline, but this is where the buyers emerge. Face-off won by Lethbridge. High slot, a chance by Norrie, deflects wide. Out to the blue line, kept in by Chadwick. Over to his right, Doyle. He holds, and a shot is blocked by Owen Cooper. Bouncing back to the near side point. Doyle holding, crossing for the captain, Chadwick. He waits and shoots. A low save, a rebound, getting a piece of it, Garrett. Outstretching the glove, and a dandy of a stop. Bouncing puck near midboards, Trey Johnson. Held along the glass, bouncing to the high circles to Doyle at the blue line. Rattles it for Johnson, who takes a heavy hit from Jamison. Bouncing puck near wall, picked up by Chasko. Angles it to Clark Schaefer out of his reach. And the Tips will go for a change. Quickly back in is Johnson with numbers. He's joined by Edwards. Johnson shoots it high and wide. 4 minutes into the second period, still looking for the game's first tally. Miettinen is in. His wrister sticked away by Smith. Holding in the near wall, back to Smith at the point, crossing for Hamill. Hamill's long chance, blocked by the legs of McCutcheon. To the trapezoid, Miettinen. Holding to the blue line, looking for Hamill. Broken up and away comes Wormald, joined by Marcus and Edwards on the rush. Wormald jams on the brakes in front of Hamill. Around the wall for Edwards, looking back to the point, intercepted. Here's Carter Bear. Lofts it up into the air, it's sticked down. And Marcus crosses rink wide for Wormald, entering in. He drops, and a trailing shot off the shoulder of Garrett. Braden Edwards as the ice starting to open a bit for Lethbridge. Rolling puck behind the net intended for Marcus, lifted by Terrence Smith. Gets it to Jesse Heslop left wing, and he bats it out to center as Will Sharp crosses over for Adair. Bouncing puck off the legs of Shane Smith, who attended Golden Knights camp. Stretch pass, here comes Mays. Mays is in, and a blocker save by Brady Smith. Terrific stop there by Smith as back in comes Kozowski. Low chance is sticked up by Garrett into the netting, out of play. 5:11 gone by in the second period, and Garrett and Smith both trading fine stops. And Brady Smith is someone who served mostly as backup for Lethbridge behind Harrison Mennigan last year, 6-7-1, with a .359 goals against and an .887 save percentage. But once upon a time, he was the top U15 goaltender in all the CSSHL at the Yale Hockey Academy in 2020. Had a .155 goals against average in that season, 13-2-0, a highly touted prospect who fell all the way to the 6th round, and he's looked strong to start this year for Lethbridge. Out to center. Dominic Raymond pushed against the glass and played by a high stick, and we'll get a whistle and a stop. 5:22 into the second period. Dominic Raymond with a bubble on his helmet, despite being an overager, took a puck to the mouth in practice. But since that point, has been on a 2-point-per-game average. 12 points in 6 games since that incident. As the Hurricanes win the face-off in the neutral zone, but ice it. Well, basketball fans love Hoodie Mello and how that kind of heightened his game whenever he wore a hoodie in warm-ups. What about Bubble Bobby? Dominic Raymond feeling empowered with a bubble on his helmet. Maybe I'm dating myself by referencing Carmelo Anthony, although he played in the PNW. He was a trailblazer for a minute. Face-off is won by Lethbridge in their own zone, off the glass and up into the stands. Out of play, deflected by Vaughn on its way out, so no penalty forthcoming to Tristan Doyle. New unit will be beckoned on for the Lethbridge Hurricanes. Ward. On with Pakala up front, as well as Gavin Lesiuk, a big-bodied line. Lesiuk 6'4", 220. Ward 6'3", 214. Pakala 6'1", 204. Heavy hitting line. And they'll win the draw back to their D-man Adair, who himself is 6'3", 190. Up the left wing side, back towards Wojtek Port, 6'2", 180. Into the near corner, Liskey has his stick lifted from behind by Lesiuk, chased down by Kaplan, and won away by the Silvertips. Here comes Kaysen Fisher leading the charge. Sauces for Wilkie, dropping back to Kaplan. Down low for Wilkie, just out of his reach, plays it off the boards. Airborne puck, gloved down by Pakala. Just over 6 minutes into the second period, still looking for the game's first goal as Ward crosses for Adair. Lead past Lesiuk, trying to split the defense. Lesiuk is forced wide by DuPont. Tag team of DuPont and Fisher. Long pass off the near side corner boards. It's Johnson. Wrapped up from behind. Bounce pass for Schaefer. Out to center he rolls. Clark Schaefer sends it into the midsection of McCutcheon. A quick pass. Trey Johnson in with an angle. A glove save by Garrett. No rebound. 6:35 into the second. Silvertips and Canes putting on a goalie clinic so far. We'll take a media timeout. You're listening to Sound Transit Tips Hockey on KRKO and Wednesday night in the Dub on WHL Live and YouTube.
Does your bank have convenient locations? Well, you can't get more convenient than Mountain Pacific Bank. It's because our mobile branch service brings the bank right to your business. So banking is at your convenience, not anyone else's. You'll see our mobile branch vehicles throughout Snohomish County. So if you're looking for a bank that knows your business has better things to do than drive to the bank, choose Mountain Pacific Bank. We'll be there for you wherever you need us to be. Mountain Pacific Bank. Member FDIC.
We're proud to announce Kelly Crate is one of our game day sponsors. Cyber attacks can sneak up on you like a blindside check from a goon, aiming to knock your teeth out and leaving you staring at the roof of the barn. Let's not let that happen. For IT, cybersecurity, and all your technology needs, let Kelly Crate help you get back to running the business you set out to run in the first place. Visit us at KELLEY-crate.com.
You're listening to Everett Silvertips Hockey on AM 1380 and FM 95.3, Everett's greatest hits.
I gotta have more cowbell.
This is KRKO Everett.
Face off to the right of Alex Garrett. 6:35 gone by in the second period. No scoring so far. And Sound Transit Silvertips Hockey as Landon DuPont in the far corner leaves it for Julius Miettinen off the boards and out to center. Jesse Heslop motions it ahead for Carter Bear, who's off to the races. But an icing called against the Silvertips. Carter Bear this season, 2 hat tricks already, 11 multi-point performances. More than 2 points a game over his last 6 outings. A former Manitoba U18 All-Star, MVP, top forward, that coming back in 2023. Then last year, a breakout performance, 25 goals, 57 points in 67 games played for the Silvertips. Started the year as a 4th liner, finished as a 1st liner, and now is a potential first-round option in the NHL draft. The journey he has taken has been magnificent. He gets the puck down low for Heslop. Over to his right, Miettinen, back for Bear. Couldn't connect. It was cut off by Wormold. Out to DuPont to drive, tipped and wide. Here's Miettinen. His wrister glove save by Smith. Out to the neutral zone, settled by Jamison, who pinballs it back into the Lethbridge zone. 7:15 into the second period. Scoreless here in Everett. Out along the left side, Wormold has it stolen by DuPont. Up ice, here's Heslop. In with numbers. Heslop taps it looking for Miettinen. His stick lifted by Doyle. Clearance kept in by DuPont. Pass attempt off a defensive leg. Ricochets near circles. Miettinen kicks it for himself into the corner. New line on for the Tips. It's Mays. Trying to dangle around Wormold, but a great play by Wormold down on one knee to work it out to the Tips end. Hamill quickly up for the Tips, and Mays couldn't quite connect with Raymond. And McKenzie will touch offsides. And we'll get a whistle 7:50 into the second. Seattle Kraken first-round pick Berkeley Catton is coming to Everett Friday night with the Spokane Chiefs. Puck drop at 7:05 p.m. Tickets available at everettsilvertips.com. Get a special ticket and drink combo for a hockey happy hour at Angel of the Winds Arena. Faceoff will be to the right of Alex Garrett. Won by Lethbridge. It's Cooper Gazowski, a former Spokane Chief. Around behind the net, Brayar. Stuff in, try near post. Poked away by Garrett. Good anticipation. Here's Mays leading the rush off the heel of the stick of McKenzie. And careening into the far corner. Reaching in Mays. Leaves it for McKenzie. Kicks it to the corner. Angle to Smith at the blue line. He shoots it. Blocker save by Smith. Out to the blue line. It is Brayar. Off the boards. Trickling near corner. Working it ahead for Shane Smith. Out to center and having to retreat is the overager McCutcheon. Right-handed D-man over to his left for Sharp. All the way down the length of the ice, wide of the Tips net. Garrett will settle it down for Smith. Over to his left for Jackson Vaughn. Over for Caden Hamill. Across center, entering in offsides, and we'll get a whistle 8:50 into the second. Jackson Vaughn playing away from his twin brother Corbin for the first time really his entire life. And he said in an interview with the Regina Post that it was time to approach it as an adult. Can't play together forever. He said he felt he needed to grow. And the odds of them being traded together were slim. And so with both Vaughn brothers having publicly requested a trade from the Regina Pats, Jackson finds his way to the Tips, and the Tips will benefit from his physicality and strength, as we'll get right on cue. Jackson Vaughn dropping the gloves. He'll go up against Landon Ward. Ward 6'3", 214. Vaughn 6'1", 201. Welcome to Everett, Jackson Vaughn, as he comes underneath with an uppercut. A couple left jabs. Ward trying to get his hands free. Now Vaughn over the top with a couple of rights. He pops the bucket off of Ward, wraps him up, and wrestles him down. Jackson Vaughn will give a how do you do to the Everett faithful at center ice. Vaughn, 82 penalty minutes last season, 146 PIMs in 132 games played in Regina. That is the nature of his game. And just as we were mentioning the element he brings, head coach Steve Hamilton had said that it's something different than what the Silvertips roster already had, and Vaughn will get a hero's welcome as he is escorted down the tunnel. While Jackson Vaughn looking to make an impact in his first game, and he picks a hard-nosed player to go up against, as Jackson Vaughn's face shown on the big board one more time, and that'll get another applause. Landon Ward, 18 years old, 6'3", 214. Attended Ottawa Senators camp in the summer, and he comes from a long line of WHLers in his family. His father, Lance, was a Red Deer Rebel from 1994 to 98, and get this, Dad, 644 penalty minutes in 256 games. Went on to play in the NHL, where he played in 209 games, 391 PIMs with Florida and Anaheim. And then Landon's older brother, Mason, played for Red Deer, Brandon, and Swift Currents, now as a sophomore at the University of Alberta. And Mason was a big-body D-man himself. So that's no slouch that Jackson Vaughn was dropping the gloves against, but I'm sure Jackson Vaughn is plenty familiar with Lethbridge, having come from the Eastern Conference himself. 11:02 remaining in the second period. Vaughn will be hit with a 2-minute penalty for instigation. And so Vaughn is escorted down the tunnel. He'll serve his misconduct that will take the remainder of the second. Well, Jackson Vaughn with a fight in his debut, channeling his inner Matt Rempe, a WHL legend in his own right. Face off to the left of Alex Garrett as we get ready to resume play. A power play forthcoming for the Lethbridge Hurricanes. Their power play is 5th best in the league at 26.7% success. The tips to the Murphy trial law penalty kill as Julian Mays will go to serve the penalty. Tips PK 76% successful. That puts them 14th in the league, though they are 13 for their last 13. Faceoff is won by the tips and carried away by Carter Bear. As Bear will drop it back to Terrence Smith. Back up for Bear. In with some speed. He's joined by Mietten, and Bear a wrister swallowed up by Smith, who keeps the play alive. Chadwick quickly up for Marcus. Over to his left, Chadwick drops it back for Wormald to Marcus. Enters in off the legs of Bear. And Marcus marked in front of the Silvertip bench. Over to his left. Finding the friendly stick of Brayar. Good shooter as he crosses for Edwards at the near circle. On the perimeter, dropping to Marcus. Trying to sling around the boards. Onto the stick of Hamill, who bounces to Smith. And Smith will buy some time for the tips to get a unit change. Minute 10 to go in the power play. Near circle, Chadwick. Bouncing puck, fielded by Marcus, carrying ahead, met by Raymond, and forced back to center. Chadwick trying to square things up with 50 seconds left. New unit on, partial change for Lethbridge as Gazowski hops over the boards, as does Sharp. It is Edwards near side. To the point, Sharp, who shovels it over to the high slot. Brayar down low, Gazowski, backdoor pass broken up. And McKenzie will skate out of danger. He'll rocket it far corner of the Lethbridge zone. Under 30 seconds to go in the power play as Heslop is on with Chasko with Hamill and Jamison. Here's a pickoff. Here comes Heslop breaking in shorthanded. Jesse Heslop scores! Jesse Heslop buries a shorty, and the Silvertips grab the lead. Heslop with terrific anticipation, fresh over the bench boards. Picks the pocket and carries it in unencumbered. Slides the backhander through the 5-hole. And for Jesse Heslop, his 14th goal of the season. Now with points in 18 of 21 appearances this season. And down a man, the Silvertips draw first blood. There remain 17 seconds in the penalty being served by Julian Mays. A face-off won by the Silvertips. Terrence Smith whacks it along the wall, picked up by Trey Johnson, and deposited into the tip zone. It is Terrence Smith clearing it out from behind his net all the way down. Out of the box comes Mays. Silvertips 1 for 1 on the Murphy trial law PK. Up the left side, here comes Sharp. Poked away by Hamill, forced into the far corner. It is Kaplan. Out to the point, kept in. Here's McCutcheon with a shot that's blocked by Schaefer. 8:45 remaining in the second period. Kaplan holding on to it, cutting to his left. Finds its way to Schaefer. Deposits in deep. Around behind the net. Carter Bear holding left wing as he meets the Canes on their way out. Stealing it from Port. Grabbed right back by Norrie. And Cameron Norrie will roll it by Kaysen Fisher. As the Canes go for a change, 8:15 left. Here's Liskey up ahead. Pass intercepted by McCutcheon. Over for Port. Wojtek Port flips it over the stick of Heslop behind the tips net. It's Garrett. Moving it for Heslop, left wing. For Mietten, stolen by Marcus. Bouncing puck near circle. Fisher back for Liskey. Intended for Bear through his stick. This will be on goal, and so Smith having to leave it aside for no icing. Here's Heslop picking it up far circle, looking in front for McKenzie. That's broken up by the active stick of Chadwick. McKenzie gets it back, throwing it towards Heslop, cut off, and Wormald will skate away. Logan Wormald, near a point per game player in his career, sitting on 99 career assists. Here's Heslop up the left wing. Crisscrossing, back for McKenzie. His back to the net, drops it to Jamison. Sliding up the left wing, his wrister tickles the side of the twine. Kept out, here's McKenzie feeding Bear, a shot that's shanked high. Doyle might have gotten a piece of it as he went down to block it. Jamison holding in his own end, surveys the ice, hits Raymond. Up with speed, Raymond, a backhander that misses. Funnels out on the right side, Gazowski. Trying to one-hand it for Brayar. Poked away by Raymond, good back check. And Raymond in transition. Burns into the offensive zone, drops for Mays, steps in, his wrister blocked, a rebound is cleared away by Gazowski. On the other way, Cameron Norrie sends it deep to the tip zone. It is DuPont for Hamill, now finding Mays cutting over to his left. Mays through center, poked at by Norrie. Nearly a good takeaway. Fresh over the bench, here's Wilkie entering in, his wrister, score! A snipe from Kane Wilkie puts the Silvertips up by 2. How about that for a shift? 2 steps into the offensive zone over the bench boards and ripping it over the shoulder of Smith. Positively lethal release by Kane Wilkie, his 6th goal of the season, his 10th point in 18 games. And the Silvertips have added a little bit of cushioning. It is 2-0. And that's an underrated job there by Nolan Chasko on the right side. You see him reach back with the legs to stay onside. A good effort goes rewarded as a stretch pass deflected into the Lethbridge zone. 6 minutes left in the second. 2-0 Tips. Bouncing puck in front of the Everett net. Bench as Port crosses for Adair. Looking through center off a defensive leg. Kaplan will get the primary helper on Wilkie's goal. Here's Terrence Smith retreating into his own end. Terrence Smith with Owen Cooper to his left. Hits Hamill, who charges forth. Caden Hamill seizing the space. Hamill with speed. His wrister is blocked by the long reach of Chadwick. It is Kaplan. Rolling puck along the boards to Chadwick. Up into the air. It lands in front of DuPont. Landon DuPont curling with it. Skies it up into the near corner. First to get there is Schaefer. Spinning it towards McKenzie in the trapezoid. Out towards the blue line and skated up by Marcus. Joined by Edwards and Doyle. Edwards bounces it in front out of reach of Doyle. Holding on the right corner as Doyle slides past Cooper. Behind the net, Marcus. Pops a backhander in front for Edwards. His rising shot is blocked. And a Doyle back pass is played to the neutral zone, and we'll get a whistle, and we'll get a too many men, I believe. We'll sift through the penalty when we come back. You're listening to Sound Transit Tips Hockey on KRKO and Wednesday night in the Dub on YouTube and CHL Live.
We've all had to change plans or miss events over the last couple of years. We're ready to spend more time together. And fewer sick days mean more time with friends and family. The COVID-19 vaccine is a safe, effective way to lower the chance of severe illness. Keep yourself and your loved ones safe and healthy. Get vaccinated, get boosted, and get more time together. Learn more at www.snohd.org/COVID vaccine.
Looking for new furniture? There's always a great selection at Erickson's. New styles, new colors, new looks, and always affordable prices. Erickson Furniture has just what you're looking for. In stock and on sale. Name brand furniture and mattresses, design services, and 5-star delivery. Let Erickson Furniture help you get the look you want for less, a lot less. Erickson Furniture in Everett at 2015 Broadway and online at ericksonfurniture.com.
Casey Bryant back on the Everett Silvertips radio network as the Silvertips on Wednesday night in the Dub on YouTube and CHL TV. Tips with a power play opportunity as a too many men on the ice. Penalty will be served by Will Sharp. Tips to the Engineered Sports power play for the first time tonight. As the Canes win the draw and wire it all the way down, the Canes penalty kill 77.8% successful. That is smack dab in the middle of the league at 11th. Tips power play, meanwhile, 10th in the league at 23.2. Here's Miettinen bouncing it to the corner. Loose behind the net, Terrence Smith. Zips it out to the far side. DuPont with a drive that ricochets wide. Here's Raymond. Back to DuPont. Sliding up the left wing, DuPont hands to Raymond, cuts over to his right, now back to DuPont, and pass just out of reach of Raymond, and the Tips will retreat. Canes will get a new PK unit on as Carter Bear holds right wing, trying to drop for DuPont, met at the blue line by Logan Wormald, who chops it ahead for Braden Edwards. And it will be the overager Edwards coming away with the puck far corner. Met by DuPont and left for Terrence Smith. Smith surveys the ice and slowly up ahead through the neutral zone. Deliberately drops it for Raymond. Works his way through Wormald. Raymond around the glass, over for Bear. Touches it, intended for DuPont. Gives it back to Bear in the corner. With some space to Jamison at the point. DuPont high slot. He waits and feeds the one-timer. Score! Power play blast from Eric Jamison. It's 3-0 Everett. A crisp keep in there in the far side. It's Carter Bear that's able to hold the offensive zone. Landon DuPont patrolling the center of the blue line. Has Eric Jamison over to his right, who had just replaced Terrence Smith. And Jamison uncorks a one-timer that's past the blocker of Smith, who right now is toying with the net, who appears to come off its mooring, trying to get the attention of the officiating crew. He'll adjust it himself as play is beckoned onward, as carried back in by Wilkie. Wilkie with a backhander that's blocked out towards the slot, bouncing. Jackson Vaughn, who is back out onto the ice after serving his fighting major. Shot by Shane Smith is sent wide. Brayar at the near side point. Brayar at the circle. His shot blocked by Liskey. Lucas Kaplan behind the net for Kaysen Fisher. For Eric Jamison, by the way, his 5th goal of the season. Last year had 10 from the blue line for the Tips. That led the team in defender goals. Kaysen Fisher from his own zone hits Vaughn on the right side. Vaughn flicks it around behind the net. Brady Smith turned it over. Cooper to the slot. Schaefer, he missed. Chasko right wing. Oh boy, as Brady Smith tried to fake out Cooper and instead handed it right to him. And Clark Schaefer streaking up the heart of the zone. Tried to one-time it as Smith was scurrying back to the crease. Here's Noah Chadwick up the left wing looking for Ward, deflected in deep. 2 minutes remaining in the second as now Garrett has some trouble fielding the puck behind the net. He has Terrence Smith there for support. Took away by Pakala. Feeds Lysiak high slot over to his left for Adair. Takes a heavy hit from Shaver, who bounces off of Adair. Left in the near circle, and away comes Owen Cooper with some numbers up front. Glove down by Chasko. Pushes into the corner as he'll go for a change. Tyler McKenzie, the first to retrieve right wing, swooping in, couldn't corral the puck. Mays will keep it deep. Settled by Adair. skips it down the length of the ice, and Jamison will field just before the end line. Minute 20 to go in the frame. Jamison up the heart of the ice, deflected by Raymond, up into the netting and out of play. And we'll get a whistle, 1:16 remaining in the second period, as the Tips have provided some breathing room. 3 goals in the span of 6 minutes from Heslop shorthanded, followed up at 13:44 by Wilkie, and then 3 minutes later it's Jamison on the power play. So the Tips have scored every strength. Bouncing puck far wing. It is Edwards out for Marcus. Wires the puck around the boards. Out to the far wing, Raymond gives to Mays, who at center slows up and hits McKenzie in stride. Tyler McKenzie gets around Doyle, a rising wrister, finds Glass up into the netting and out of play. This line has been the most consistent generator of offense for the Lethbridge Hurricanes. Wormald, Edwards, and Marcus have combined for 5 shots on net. 5 of the 22 on the team. Tips will send out Miettinen with Heslop and Bear with 51 seconds to go in the offensive zone faceoff. One back clean by Miettinen to Fisher at the point. Quickly for Liskey, far point. Now Heslop from the blue line chops it down low, wide of the net. Miettinen battles through the stick of McCutcheon. It's forced out to center as Fisher skies it over to the far boards. 30 ticks remaining for Brayar, right wing. Brayar centering pass is broken up by the back reach of Bear. Nice play. Trying to lead Miettinen in. Left behind. Gazowski up with speed. Cuts over to his right. Leaves the puck away. And Breck Liskey will settle. Out to center with 15 seconds left. Bear touches for Miettinen. Closed out along the boards by Cameron Norrie. Gazowski retreats. McCutcheon in his own zone. Long way to go down the ice, so he'll just look at the clock. And that will do it for the second period. The Silvertips, an eventful second. A bit of fisticuffs, a bit of scoring, and now we'll get a pile up at the gun. Some extracurriculars at the whistle as Gazowski will be wrapped in a headlock now. As that was Jesse Heslop getting in on it. Rare to see Heslop so irate out on the ice, but his helmet ripped off and exchanging words with Shane Smith, among others. So at the end of 2 periods, Silvertips leading at 3-0. Shots on goal presented by Levitt Group Northwest. For the Hurricanes, 8, giving them a game total of 22. For the Silvertips, 10, giving them a game total of 21. We'll have the recap of the scoring summary and the out-of-town scoreboard coming up in your intermission report. You are listening to Sound Transit Tips Hockey on KRKO and Wednesday night in the Dub on WHL Live and YouTube.
At Bricks and Minifigs, discover a world of Lego where imagination thrives and possibilities are endless. Whether you're a seasoned builder or just starting out, Bricks and Minifigs is filled with a treasure trove of new and used Lego sets, minifigs, bulk bricks, and hard-to-find collectibles. Opening soon in South Everett, Bricks and Minifigs, your premier destination for all things Lego. Rebuild, reuse, reimagine. To find a store near you, visit bricksandminifigs.com.
Stuff your wallet with cash this November at Tulalip Resort Casino. Stop by Mondays and Tuesdays for a feast full of dollars and pocket guaranteed cash every hour. Earn entries for all your play this November and win the $50,000 grand prize on the 30th. Rush in Tuesdays and Wednesdays all season long to make your picks and score bonus free play. Find all the details online at TulalipCasino.com.
It's the most important document you'll ever hold. When people read it for the first time and start asking questions, they're usually shocked, in disbelief. For example, this evening, homemade meatloaf dinner, just like Mom used to make, with garlic toast and your choice of 2 sides. just $11.99. Yes, it's hard to believe, but seeing is believing. So head to one of the 12 Buzz-In steakhouses. Once you see their menu and taste their food, you'll smile from ear to ear. BuzzInSteakhouse.com.
Storm season is coming. Snohomish PUD encourages you to get ready by putting together an emergency kit that can sustain your household for 3 to 5 days and winterizing your home. Customers with electrically heated homes are eligible for rebates on 3 energy-saving improvements: insulation, duct sealing, and windows. Cover hose bibs and seal leaks before colder temperatures arrive. Learn about home improvements that can help you save at snopud.com/winterize. snopud.com/winterize.
Intermission is brought to you by Sam's Cats and Dogs Naturally, serving you at 3 locations. Online at samscatsanddogs.com.
At the end of 2 periods here at Angel of the Winds Arena, Casey Bryant back on the Silvertips second intermission report here on Sound Transit Silvertips Hockey KRKO, and on Wednesday night in the Dub on YouTube and CHL TV. Pleased to be joined here in the second intermission by local Silvertip podcaster Jeff Simmons. And Jeff, welcome to the program. And we've got an eventful one here on a Wednesday night where the Silvertips started to show a little bit more life in the second.
Yeah, absolutely. They definitely showed off that muscle in the second period. Lethbridge got a great team. This is a team that's got 3 NHL prospects, if I'm not mistaken. And, we only see this team once a year, Casey, so you never really know what to expect. But one thing you can expect from the East is they're going to be hard-hitting, as there's a lot of that. And welcome to Everett, Jackson Vaughn. How about that?
I was just going to say, the whole scoring flurry for the Silvertips seems to be sparked, ironically, even though they are shorthanded, by that tilt at center ice. Jackson Vaughn, limited minutes so far, but just trying to do the little things right. What have you seen from 51 so far here tonight?
Oh, it's just crazy. And, it's not going to take him long to be a fan favorite here, Casey. I think he's already on his way, but he's going to be a tremendous asset to this team. And, it's obviously you got to lose a player like Caden Brown, and we're all going to miss him. But we wish him the best in Regina. And Jackson Vaughn's going to be doing some good stuff here, though.
So now let's plug what you've been doing here for the last season plus at this point now, which is the Tipscast, the podcast that you host, on which I've featured semi-regularly, as frequently as I can given the travel schedule for you. But you've had Cameron Riegers join on with you. You've had different broadcasters around the Dub hop on. How has the journey been podcasting for you and covering this team been like?
Well, I started off in the professional wrestling business. It's been a while since I've been able to plug this podcast on here, Casey. But, so that's where I got started. And, I just moved out here a few years ago, and I was really involved with a hockey team in Michigan. Ironically enough, the Flint Firebirds of the CHL. So I said, well, there's a CHL team out here. Unbelievable. So and that's kind of how it started. And, we're in our second year, Casey, and, I feel like last year was kind of we were trying things out. But this year we've really got into a rhythm, and the subscriptions are up and everything, and, it's good. Everything's great.
I saw on your last episode you had Brad Curl from the Calgary Hitmen. Now, Brad is an awesome guy and an awesome broadcaster, too. How was that conversation for you? What did you have to chat with Brad?
Well, obviously we talked about food because, if anybody's listened to the podcast, and if you're listening to this broadcast, you probably listen to the podcast. Casey and I talk about food all the time. So Brad had to give me some recommendations when we do the Alberta Swing next year. But obviously it's just you're under the learning tree with somebody like Brad Curl. He's been doing this a long time, and just as yourself, and he has one of those distinguishable voices that, boy, I tell you, you put me in a dark room, I could tell you who Brad Curl is. That's 100% sure.
Absolutely. And the pride of Porcupine Plain, also home of Taryn Smith.
There you go. He had to mention that on the show, too. Yeah, he had to get that cheap plug in. But
Jeff, for those who want to find your podcast, Tipscast, where can they find it?
We're on a lot of the podcast sites, Google Podcasts, Apple Podcast. The biggest one is Spotify because we actually record through Spotify, and so if you don't have Spotify, it's a free app. Come on, guys, you got to get it. So, but check me out. Social media, I do a lot of live tweeting of the games, just like the fine media gals you have, and There we go.
Yeah. Well, Jeff, it's a pleasure. We appreciate all that you do, Jeff. Thanks so much for coming on.
Absolutely. Thanks for having me.
3-0 Everett Silvertips. Back with the out-of-town scoreboard in just a moment on Sound Transit Tips Hockey on Wednesday night in the Dub.
Charge up and save. Helping our customers save energy and money has always been a driver for us at your PUD. Now more than ever, we want to make your money go further. Get instant rebates on energy-saving home upgrades like heat pumps, electric hybrid water heaters, and smart thermostats to help keep your home comfy year-round. Set your cruise control to lower bills and connect to save money and energy with your trusted partners at Snohomish PUD.
Hockey Wolf is the Pacific Northwest premier hockey retailer with locations at Northgate, Olympic View, and Bellevue. Hockey Wolf staff are experts in the industry and use cutting-edge technology like the Bauer Fit Lab, the most advanced skate fitting experience. Using state-of-the-art scanning to identify the unique qualities of your feet, Hockey Wolf's team can help you find the perfect skate or get a custom design one to enhance your stride and on-ice performance, taking your game to the next level. Available now at all Hockey Wolf locations.
I was 17 and a fender bender and scared to death. Dad says, "Don't worry about it, son. Bob will take care of everything." So I'm thinking, who the heck's Bob? Turns out Bob's our Levitt Group Northwest insurance agent. He takes care of our home, cars, even the family business. See, Levitt Group works with most major insurance companies, getting you the best coverage and rates. I have my own family now, but I still call Bob. You should too at gocallbob.com. Gocallbob.com. Insurance the Northwest trusts. Get it at Levitt.
Suffering with knee pain? Visit Dr. Gill and team at Symmetria Integrative Medical in Marysville, the leader for stem cell therapy in Snohomish County. Dr. Gill and team treat patients for knee pain and arthritis, helping you avoid painful knee surgery. You might be a candidate for stem cell therapy, so schedule an appointment today at 360-659-6554 or visit online symmetriamedical.com. Symmetria Integrative Medical, the leader for stem cell therapy in Snohomish County.
Casey Bryant back on the Everett Silvertips Radio Network, presented by Sound Transit, and on Wednesday night in the Dub in the CHL TV app and on YouTube. Let's take a look around the Western Hockey League and more with our Coca-Cola out-of-town scoreboard. Edmonton Oil Kings cruise to a 5-1 victory over the Victoria Royals. A couple of power play goals for Edmonton in that one as they put up 5 on 39 shots on net. Elsewhere in the Eastern Conference, a couple of extra time thrillers, both favoring the road team, as first the Medicine Hat Tigers get an OT winner from Hunter St. Martin a minute and 18 seconds into the extra frame. 55 shots on net, but still the Raiders are able to eke out 1 point, and Medicine Hat able to stave off a late comeback effort staged by Prince Albert. Meanwhile, in Regina, Brandon Wynot nets the game winner in the shootout for the Tri-City Americans as the Amerks stay white hot. 46 shots, 4 goals, and the Amerks victorious over the Regina Pats, who have had themselves a busy couple of days. And it seems like it will only get busier as the Pats are right in the middle of another trade rumor. And depending on sources, we could believe that there are some more big names about to depart the Regina Pats, as they are sellers in a rebuild mode. But as Dante DeCaria says, the voice of the Regina Pats, in Alan Miller they trust. And so they will keep on wheeling and dealing, and we'll see who the buyers will be. Meanwhile, in the Western Conference, the Kelowna Rockets are tied at 1 with the Wenatchee Wild through 2 periods. Maddox McHaggerty with a tying goal for Wenatchee, answering Michael Chichek's first period tally for Kelowna. In the pro circuit, the Toronto Maple Leafs shut out the Vegas Golden Knights 3-0 up in Toronto. The Carolina Hurricanes take a road victory 4-1 against Philly. Dallas 5-2 victors over the San Jose Sharks. Midway through the second period, the Seattle Kraken at home are scoreless against the Nashville Predators. And the LA Kings still yet to find the back of the net, scoreless against the Buffalo Sabres as they are 7 minutes into the second period in LA. 3-0 Silvertips. When we come back, we'll have the highlights for you here on the Mountain Pacific Bank Second Intermission Report. You are listening to Sound Transit Tips Hockey on KRKO and Wednesday night in the Dub on CHL TV and YouTube.
Althea of Althea's Footwear Solutions in Everett on what makes her store different.
We work with the ill and injured foot, but we also work with that person that has a wider than average foot. That's a customer that we can help. If you have just minor, like hammer toes or things that are not going to fit in a traditional shoe comfortably, then that's somebody that we can help and assist.
Althea's Footwear Solutions at 1932 Broadway in Everett, now in Lakewood and Tacoma, and online at altheasfootwearsolutions.com.
Give your event that extra wow with Russell's Restaurant. Russell's can cater your event or host it at the Loft, just off 405 in Canyon Park. Weddings, corporate events, fundraisers, parties, and private dining make it memorable with Russell's. Raise a toast with an espresso martini, or show your appreciation with a double-cut pork chop with an apple brandy demi-glaze. In the gorgeous accommodations at Russell's. Plan your event now at russelllowell.com. Simple food done well. russelllowell.com.
We're Judd & Black. For over 80 years, we've been your locally owned and family-operated appliance store. Shopping here is just different. You see, it starts with our appliance experts, who are experienced in jobs of all sizes. So if you're remodeling your kitchen and looking for luxury, or shopping for an entire apartment building and need durability, our team is trained to find the appliances you need at competitive prices. Judd & Black, your hometown appliance store. Online at juddblack.com.
But soft, what light through yonder windshield breaks? They are, taillights, aglow with red for miles on end. On my wit, it hath been proclaimed, the Link light rail is expanding. Begone, driver's seat. Away with you, devilish traffic, for tomorrow I ride.
Skip the drama of traffic. Ride Sound Transit. Explore 4 new stations on the one line from Shoreline to Linwood, now open.
Casey Bryant back on the Everett Silvertips Radio Network and Wednesday night in the Dub on CHL TV and YouTube. 3-0 is your score at the end of 2 periods. We'll take you through the scoring summary presented by Mountain Pacific Bank. It started 10:41 into the second period. The Silvertips spurred on by a fight between Landon Ward and Jackson Vaughn. They're down a man, but up in energy. Jesse Heslop slides a backhander home shorthanded, and the Tips grab a 1-0 lead. With Hamill and Jamison, here's a pickoff. Here comes Heslop breaking in shorthanded. Jesse Heslop scores! Jesse Heslop buries a shorty, and the Silvertips grab the lead. Minutes later at 13:44 with both sides at 5-on-5, it's the 16-year-old Kane Wilkie roofing one over the shoulder of Brady Smith. For Kane Wilkie, he grabs his 6th goal of the season. Mays through center, poked at by Norrie. Nearly a good takeaway. Fresh over the bench, here's Wilkie entering in his wrister. Score! A snipe from Kane Wilkie puts the Silvertips up by 2. And then the Silvertips get even more insurance with a power play goal at 16:34. Landon DuPont tees up the one-timer for Eric Jamison, and Jamison rifles home his 5th of the year. He waits and feeds the one-timer. Score! Power play blast from Eric Jamison. It's 3-0 Everett. And that is where we find ourselves at the end of 40 minutes. Alex Garrett so far 22 for 22 in goal. Brady Smith, meanwhile, 18 for 21. When we come back, 3rd period of Silvertip hockey coming up. You are listening to Sound Transit Tips Hockey on the Silvertip Radio Network and on Wednesday night in the Dub in CHL TV and YouTube.
What does full-service banking actually look like? If you're looking for the basics, People's Bank offers checking and savings accounts, and we can help with all of your other financial needs too. Whether you have a business, you have a family, you're looking to buy a home or invest, People's Bank can help with that. We're in Whatcom, Skagit, Island, Snohomish, King, Chelan, and Douglas counties. And we don't only work there, we live there too. So maybe you haven't thought of People's Bank as a full-service bank. Maybe it's time to think again. When you think banking, think People's Bank. Member FDIC.
America. There's no debate about it. It's time to unite the states. Join us at your local bar and at venues across this great nation to take a break from the daily grind with Bud Light. Buddies, at the party we can all agree on. It's time for us all to raise one to right now and kick off happy hour across the country.
This is the sound of a racing heart. It's beating a little faster because it belongs to a young child. But this child isn't in the middle of a close soccer game or playing with her puppy in the yard. Her heart is racing because she's just been told she has to move foster homes again. Change a child's story. There's a child waiting for a volunteer like you. Learn how you can help at casaforchildren.org.
Are you a teen with places to go but can't find a ride? Community Transit is here to get you there, and it's free if you're 18 or younger. Youth can ride the bus and other public transit options like light rail and ferry for free. Take transit to school, your job, the mall, and more. Ride with friends, save money, go green, and enjoy your freedom. Explore more places with Community Transit. Visit ctgo.org/ride-free to learn more and plan your trip today.
Casey Bryant back on the Everett Silvertips radio network. Time now for the third period of Silvertips hockey for Wednesday night in the Dub. Thank you so much for tuning in on YouTube and on CHL TV. As the Silvertips carry a 3-0 lead into the final frame, the third period is brought to you by Trans Blue. Goals in the second period scored shorthanded by Jesse Heslop, at even strength by Kane Wilkie, and on the power play by Eric Jameson. Silvertips will skate left to right on your CHL screens. In their home whites, the Lethbridge Hurricanes in their road black sweaters, their Leth Vegas neon designs that look very slick. Puck is dropped and away we go as Eric Jameson from the red line sends it in deep. A wonky pounce off those off the stanchion boards. Forces the puck in front of the net, and that's how Landon DuPont was able to score his first goal on home ice over the weekend. As Alex Garrett is tripped up behind the net. He took heavy contact from Edwards. Miettinen will challenge Edwards, and Garrett is slow to get up. Garrett got taken out as he went back to field the puck. And athletic trainer Blake Drawn will be escorted out onto the ice as Garrett is back up and working out his legs. He'll go for a skate and hasn't made a motion for the trainer yet, which perhaps is one of those catch your breath moments if you're a Silvertip, as Tips already without their usual starting netminder, and Jesse Sauch with an upper body injury for a duration of time that remains to be seen. An official evaluation should be coming this weekend, be it day to day or week to week. And the Tips have a rookie who just signed his WHL Scholarship and Development Agreement this morning in Raiden Legal as backup. And the Tips will get a power play out of the deal as Braden Edwards will go for interference. Here's a drive by Raymond Wide. Rebound, score! Quick work! Power play goal! Silvertips up 4-0. Batted out of the air by Julius Miettinen. 4 seconds into the man advantage. Well, that's a rocket off the stick of Dominic Raymond that hops out in front of the net. A lively bounce off the glass. That's the benefit of home ice advantage. You recognize the caroms and how lively they will be off the glass. And Julius Miettinen backhands an airborne puck home. To work goes Dominic Raymond, who shoots it high, and another bounce off the glass lands near wall. For Julius Miettinen, his 6th goal of the year. He had 3 assists on Saturday in Kent, getting in on the goal-scoring fun himself. And that is an important momentum halter for the Silvertips as they draw an early penalty. As the Canes are offsides, they draw the early penalty, and then they're able to strike on that power play early in the third to deflate the balloon. Vaughn on the ice with Wilkie and Kaplan. Vaughn with about a fisticuffs with Ward, who lines up next to him. One back by the Silvertips, and Liskey holds. And as that fight that drew a penalty against Vaughn for playing without his helmet was the official designation given on the stat sheet. And for that penalty, Silvertips are able to strike shorthanded. Blessing in disguise as Vaughn gets it over towards Wilkie, off his skates and carried away by Lisiuk. All the way back towards Carson Adair, who holds over to his left for Ward. Chips it in deep. Back to retrieve is Fisher. Now, if you're the Lethbridge Hurricanes, assuredly, after the contact against Alex Garrett, you want to see if you can keep him moving and give him a couple of shots to where you want to test to see just how lively he is in that crease. He hasn't faced a whole lot in the late goings of the second period, and you don't want him to get too comfortable. As here's Owen Cooper in the far circles, thrown in front. A backhand by Chasko was sent into the corner boards. It is Cooper losing control, and Chase Peterson carries the other way. Peterson leading the Hurricanes in shots on net. Here's Schaefer on the right wing. Carrying up the right side, working against Noah Chadwick, trying to drop it for Chasko. Pass out of his reach, and Peterson will clear it away. Doyle up for Lonnie. Into the far corner. Cameron Norrie wrapped up by Landon DuPont, who closes him out along the wall, tries to clear. McCutcheon holds the blue line. McCutcheon gently gliding to his left. Over to his right, feeds Edwards with a low shot that ricochets wide. Nolan Chasko, a backhand pass out towards center. And McCutcheon in his own end throws it up towards Edwards' right wing. Bouncing puck behind the Tips net. Terrence Smith protecting from an oncoming Wormald. Carter Bear left wing. Ahead with numbers comes Heslop. Has Miettinen charging net front. Heslop drops to Bear and a wrister that's blocked. Miettinen scoops. He turns and sends it high. 3:10 into the third, and the Silvertips ahead 4-0. Hamill at the blue line. Kicks it away from Edwards. Gets it to Miettinen on his backhand. Looping behind the Lethbridge net. McCutcheon out for Marcus. And he'll send over towards Edwards. Soft pass back over for Marcus. Terrence Smith will retreat. Gives it to Bear along the left wing. Feeds Hamill through the heart of the ice. Bounces off of Pakala. For Raymond, who backhands it wide to the Lethbridge net. Adair at the near circles. Out towards center for Marcus. Entered into tonight's game with 8 goals in his last 10 games, has been held at bay. Here is Mays entering in. Forced off the puck. Loose in the near side circle. Protecting is Brayard. Stolen away Raymond to the slot. McKenzie just past his stick. Fisher at the point. Long shot misses wide. Taken by McKenzie out to the slot. Mays, a shot just missed. Smith is without his stick in the crease. Here's Liskey to McKenzie. Gives it to Fisher. Back for Liskey, out of his reach. Bounces into the near corner. Over the boards is Vaughn. Loses his footing. Opens some space for Shane Smith to flick it out to center. And Brady Smith will go to retrieve his stick as Brayard enters up the other way and shoots it wide. Landon Ward crosses over to Noah Chadwick. Up ice tipped by Pakala into the far corner. 4:45 gone by in the third. It is 4-0 Tips. Up for Kaplan, who leads Jackson Vaughn in one-on-one against Chadwick. Vaughn, low shot, sticked away by Smith. Lands near corner behind Vaughn. Up into the neutral zone. Lisiuk working against Jamison. He slips by him. Along the right wing towards the crease. Gently poked away by Garrett. To the blue line, Chadwick. Crossing over, long shot up into the air and sails near circle. That was punched out of the air by Alex Garrett. Bouncing puck along the far wall, it's Kaplan. Joined on the rush by DuPont. Kaplan has it poked away. And the Canes and Tips will both go for a change as Jamison holds in his own end. With some space to maneuver on the left wing, trying to thread the needle, gets it up towards Owen Cooper. Chipped away by Lethbridge, rocketed back in by DuPont, who himself will go for a change. Loose puck high slot, spinning with it. Chasko rising, shot, juggled but held by Smith. 5:48 gone by in the third period. Well, we've seen a strong showing from the Silvertip kids here tonight. Owen Cooper, Clark Schaefer providing some energy on the fourth line. We've seen Lucas Kaplan and Kane Wilkie tag team for a goal tonight. Kaplan, 17 years old, Wilkie 16 years old. Face-off won back by the Tips. Terrence Smith with a shot that's blockered away by Brady Smith. And Kane Wilkie was picked up with the first-round pick. The first of the many first-round picks that came over from Kamloops in the Landon DuPont, Caden Hamill, yada, yada, yada deal. Part of a 14-piece return that the Silvertips got for Ryan Hofer and Olin Zellweger at the 2023 trade deadline. 4 players and 10 draft picks. One of them DuPont, one of them Wilkie. Here's Chasko backhanding it into the far corner. And, of course, of those 4 players, 2 of them on the active roster in Caden Hamill and Ryland Pierce. As at the red line, it is Wormald entering in with Edwards. Wormald with a wrister that's blocked up into the netting out of play. 6:34 into the third. We'll take a media timeout. It's 4-0 Silvertips. You're watching Wednesday Night in the Dub on YouTube. We see everyone in the chat. We thank you so much for joining us here on a Wednesday night. Keep on engaging and keep on watching, because the thrilling conclusion is coming up on Sound Transit Tips Hockey, KRKO.
Together, we can protect Puget Sound and keep pollutants out of our storm drains and waterways with a few small changes to how we care for our cars, like making sure our tires are inflated, which leads to less tire breakdown, regular car checkups to prevent leaks, and washing your car at commercial car washes, which capture and clean dirty wash water. These small, easy actions add up to a big difference, and they start with you. Puget Sound starts here, and here is where we live, work, and play.
Ladies, have you been thinking about purchasing a handgun for personal safety, but don't know where to start? West Coast Armory North is here to help. We have classes designed to help you choose the best firearm for you, and the Ladies Shooting Club for you to practice your newly learned skills. Thursday is always Ladies' Day, and if you mention our ad on Everett's Greatest Hits, you'll receive a free bronze membership for 1 year. Or check out our class schedule and sign up on westcoastarmorynorth.com. westcoastarmorynorth.com.
You're listening to Everett Silvertips Hockey on AM 1380 and FM 95.3. Everett's greatest hits.
I gotta have more cowbell.
This is KRKO Everett.
Casey Bryant back on the Everett Silvertips Radio Network. Silvertips up 4-0 on Lethbridge here in Wednesday Night in the Dub on YouTube and CHL TV. Off the face-off, Kason Fisher took a stick to the face. He'll rush back towards the bench as Carter Bear pursues the puck in the near side corner against Lethbridge. Bouncing puck along the far wall. Miettinen tries to center. Off a stick. Pakala chased down from behind by Bear. It is Liskey retreating into his own zone, pursued by Brayar. Bear taps it out to center. Miettinen hounding Pakala. A dare for Brayar. Closed off the puck from Heslop. Delayed penalty coming up. This will be against Lethbridge. And now we'll get another penalty coming up, as it looks like Bear will also go. And now Bear will be challenged by Lesiuk. Lesiuk giving a face wash to Carter Bear and still at it. And Lesiuk looks like he will also go. Delayed penalty was coming against Lethbridge, but Carter Bear inadvertently tripped up Shane Smith at center. And now with Lesiuk joining Smith in the penalty box, will this remain a power play for Everett, or is his penalty separate? Remains to be seen. Seven minutes and 14 seconds gone by in the third period. The Silvertips will be back home on Friday night hosting the Spokane Chiefs, as they'll get a look at Seattle Kraken first-round pick Berkeley Catton. And the Chiefs, who have been quite strong in the U.S. division to start the year. It will, in fact, be a power play for the Tips, as Shane Smith will be freed after 2 minutes. 5-on-4 power play for the Tips as McKenzie centers Julian Mays, Jesse Heslop, Jamison, and Hamill. Face off one back to the point. Jamison crosses Hamill, stepping forward. Holding in the corner, has it poked away and cleared out by Chadwick. Check that by Wormald. As Jamison holds behind his net. Wormald and Edwards on with Chadwick and McCutcheon on the back end for Lethbridge. Jamison up the heart of the ice. On goal, and Brady Smith will set it aside for McCutcheon. Angled off the end wall. Noah Chadwick, surrounded by Silvertips, nowhere to go. He's forced against the wall by Hamill. Chadwick still protecting and deftly gets it to Wormald. That is a savvy play there by Noah Chadwick. A savvy veteran who can score, who can defend with the best of them, a sixth rounder to Toronto. Here's Heslop across the blue line. Quick passing for Hamill near circle. Pulls it away from Adair to the neutral zone, and Jamison will retreat into his own end. New unit on for the Tips as they'll send out Raymond with Miettinen, DuPont, and Owen Cooper getting a spin on the power play in lieu of Carter Bear. Coach Hamilton trying out one of his 16-year-old rookies on the top power play unit as Terrence Smith will lug it into the offensive zone. Backhands around the boards, pursuing is DuPont. Trying to keep it deep along the far wall. Cooper sticking his nose in. Lifting a stick is DuPont, but forced to center not much further. 20 seconds to go on the power play. It's Raymond wheedling in, dropping it back to Miettinen, stolen away, and Pakula will sky it to center, and Terrence Smith will figure eight in his own end. 10 seconds left. Let's go Tips chant up from the crowd as Landon DuPont is ahead right wing. DuPont to the slot for Smith. Spins off the net as Miettinen high slot. Looks him off. To the corner. Stolen away by Lethbridge out to center and a sliding effort by Miettinen, but a 2-on-1. Here's Marcus in with Smith. Marcus, back pass is broken up by the diving Terrence Smith. Loose in front of backhander, covered up by Garrett. And he'll hold 9:26 into the third. And that almost worked out to perfection for the Lethbridge Hurricanes as they cleared it from their own zone just as Shane Smith was freed from the box. And if not for a diving effort on the part of Terrence Smith, that is a 2-on-0 with Marcus and Shane Smith, two guys who really know how to pop the puck. Shane Smith with 29 goals last year for Medhat. Has 9 points in 11 games since coming over in a trade from the Tigers. That was a blockbuster for Lethbridge. They sent away fan favorite and overage netminder Harrison Mennigan for Smith, who is 19. Clearing a logjam of overagers, but at the same time, a bold move. Face-off won by Lethbridge and a delayed penalty forthcoming as a high stick will be ruled against the Tips. 10:24 to go in the third, and the Lethbridge Hurricanes, needing some juice, will get a man advantage for yet another time tonight. It will be their second power play of the contest. They are -1 for 1. They allowed a shorty to Jesse Heslop, 10:41 into the second period. Miettinen on with Bear, Smith, and Hamill, countered by Edwards on with Wormald, and Brayar up front with Marcus and Chadwick on the back end. Brayar, a terrific shooter for Lethbridge as the Canes win the draw, but Bear is able to clear, and a delayed penalty coming up against Lethbridge as Bear was tripped up. And now this will be 4-on-4 as just 11 seconds into their power play. Arm goes up, and it will be Wormald to the box for tripping. And the momentum that the Canes thought they were going to be able to generate has been halted. Now it'll just be open space to work with at 4-on-4. As we take another look at the replay for those watching on YouTube and the CHL app. And for those in the chat, we give you a shout out. Specifically, I see Dan Neer in the chat, commissioner of the Western Hockey League. Thanks to all fans engaging in the WHL's YouTube channel as they embark on this new endeavor. Face-off won by Lethbridge at 4-on-4. It is Logan McCutcheon dropping it back for Marcus with speed, seizing the gap, working against Terrence Smith, out to center, broken up. And Caden Hamill taps it out to center, looking for Bear, just out of his reach. McCutcheon will retreat. Here's a steal. Look out, Carter Bear on the backhand. Couldn't get it to the net. He was cut off by McCutcheon. Always have to be wary when Bear is on the forecheck. He's on with Tyler McKenzie, who himself has a magnetized stick. Terrific in puck hawking at center. Here's Edwards working in, surrounded by Silvertips, drops it to Sharp, quick passing. Marcus wires it wide. Wraparound try, toe save by Garrett. Taken by McKenzie and gliding away with it. McKenzie 3-on-2, looking for Hamill. Pass broken up by the back-checking Marcus. As here's Doyle, thrown to center, cut off by McKenzie. Back up in transition. McKenzie to his left, Hamill. Crosses the slot, pocket picked by Marcus. 40 seconds to go, and the penalty being served by Fisher. Here's a pass to Doyle, who shanks it up into the netting, out of play. 36 seconds in Fisher's penalty, 47 seconds in Wormald's penalty. 9 minutes flat remaining in the third period. As the Silvertips leading 4-0, as they have a busy weekend ahead of them. Friday night at home against Spokane, Saturday in Kamloops, Sunday in Kelowna. The Hurricanes, meanwhile, this is the first of their U.S. Division tour. Face-off won by the Canes. Chadwick to Smith, high slot, his wrister, glove save made by Garrett. And the long trips are always very difficult to coordinate, and especially with the weather around the Puget Sound area last night. A bomb cyclone hit the greater Seattle, Everett, Mukilteo, etc. area, the PNW. So some downed power lines and trees strewn about the highway, and we are glad that the Hurricanes were able to make it to Everett yesterday safe and sound. Behind the net, Jamison up ahead for Chasko. Leads Julian Mays up the rush. Mays crosses the blue line. Chris crosses. Wrister sails wide. DuPont holds near corner. Pushes it for Chasko. Chasko lifting the stick, battling with it. Throws it towards DuPont, who crosses for Jamison. 5 seconds in Fisher's penalty. Jamison's shot is tipped and wide. Pakula, back pass for Chadwick. Out of the box, Fisher. Fisher races to the bench. He's replaced by Wilkie. As Noah Chadwick starts up ice for Lethbridge. He's met at the blue line, and out of the box is Wormald. We're back to even strength with 8:10 to go. Here comes Edwards up the left side for Lethbridge. Canes still looking for their first tally. It's 4-0 Everett. Here's DuPont as Edwards slides past him. DuPont leaves behind the end line. Carrying over to the near side corner. Wormald battling with Kaplan. Works it over to Jackson Vaughn, out to the blue line, held by Adair. Long shot, seen all the way by Garrett. 7:45 remaining in the third period, and Garrett has looked sharp. That is his 29th save of the evening. And Alex Garrett finding a rhythm, was 21 for 21 back on Veterans Day on the 11th. In relief over 2 periods against Red Deer, 15 for 17 Saturday in a win against Seattle. And 29 is the most he's had to face in a single game this year. It surpasses the total he faced in Swift Current when he stopped 24 of 27 against the Broncos in a win. Picked up by Wilkie. Into the far corner of the Lethbridge zone behind the net. Jackson Vaughn throws a heavy hip check. Wilkie pursuing a loose puck. Into the far corner it rolls, out towards Lesiuk. Attempted clearance. Broken up for the moment by Kaplan. Fielded by Wilkie, who retreats. He'll knock it behind the Lethbridge net. Brady Smith pressured by Kaplan. Moves it along the boards. And a good pass up to Trey Johnson. Works it to Lesiuk, who sends it deep behind the tips net. And Garrett will move it over towards Fisher. Up ice, Chasko off his stick. Picked up by Gazowski. In he comes for Lethbridge. A lead pass for Norrie. Low shot punched away by Garrett. Under 7 minutes to play. Nolan Chasko through the neutral zone. Holding on the right wing. Distributes to the slot through the wickets of Cooper. Cameron Norrie off the glass. Far corner chasing is Peterson. Met from behind by Caden Hamill. One-handed by Cooper out towards center. And it is Sharp holding. Will Sharp, a former 11th overall pick in the first round of the WHL draft. Gets it deep. Gazowski met from behind by Schaefer. Chased back to the blue line. Sends it to Sharp. Moves it behind the Tips net. Over for Terrence Smith. 6:10 remaining in regulation. Up comes Chasko with it. As he lofts to the near corner. Racing for it, Bear lifts the stick of Doyle. Bear in by himself as the Tips needing a forward line change. Doyle for Shane Smith. Smith, the Albertan hits the brakes. Heslop steals. Nice pass, works it out to Bear. He's joined by Miettinen on the rush. Bear crosses to his left, to the slot. Heslop, he squares, a save made by Brady Smith. Rebound is knocked just wide. Heslop scoops in the trapezoid out in front. A one-timer by Miettinen. Handcuffed by the pass, it bounced far corner. Heslop to Miettinen. Bouncing between the hash marks and sent out towards center. As Brayar is met by Jamieson, and back with it comes Mays. Mays wrapped up from behind, keeping possession of the puck. He looks towards the net. A wrister is blocked by the legs of Wojtek Port. 5:15 to go in regulation as we approach the final five, presented by the plumbing physician. Wojtek Port up ahead by himself. A wrister in and out of the breadbasket of Garrett. Rebound is swept just wide. As Terrence Smith protects from the oncoming Edwards. Out with it, Mays. Backhanded ahead by McKenzie. Into the far corner. Reaching forward is Dominic Raymond, joined by Mays. As Port sends it up to Wormald, left wing. Burning against Hamill, his wrister is wide. And that sails all the way out into the neutral zone. And the direction finder a hair off on that one as Wormald has it stolen away. Here's McKenzie on the backhand, thrown towards the net front, out of reach of Wilkie. Lifting the stick, Raymond pestering for the puck. And holding onto it in front of his net is Wormald, seeking refuge to the far corner. 4:15 left as a bouncing puck is sent towards Brady Smith. Continuous action here at Angel of the Winds Arena. As Trey Johnson looks to his left, off the stick of Landon Ward. Powering through is Johnson, hauled down from behind by Terrence Smith. Play beckoned onward as a heavy puck up towards Jackson Vaughn. Lofted up into the air, racing for it, Kaplan. Works it to Wilkie, in front for Vaughn, just over his stick. Johnson over to his left for Landon Ward. At the blue line, Vaughn. Retreating is Wilkie. Jamieson in his own zone finds Jackson Vaughn. A backhand. Around behind the Lethbridge net. Bouncing at the blue line and entering in offside are Lethbridge, and so we've reached our final media timeout. 4-0 Tips against the Lethbridge Hurricanes. Back with the thrilling conclusion. You're listening to Sound Transit Tips Hockey on KRKO and Wednesday Night in the Dub on YouTube and CHL TV.
Excellence! Hello, fellow Washingtonians. Are you feeling unfulfilled in your current employment? Do you feel like you could be doing more good in the world, but aren't sure where to start? All Heart Healthcare Training is here to help. We offer a comprehensive home care aid training program for potential caregivers or adult family home owners, designed with real-world experiences and learning approaches in order to help set you on the path to a rewarding career in the healthcare industry. Morning and evening classes are available. Training and testing are all done on site, and guaranteed employment upon completion of the course are the standard when you train with us. Want to be part of something that will bring excellence into your life? We're easy to find. Simply search All Heart on your phone. That's ALHART, and you'll find All Heart Healthcare Training there and ready to serve you. English and Spanish language classes available.
Casey Bryant back on the Everett Silvertips radio network and on Wednesday night in the dub. Available free on CHL TV and on YouTube, the Silvertips. 4-0 over Lethbridge. 3:15 left. Neutral zone faceoff is pushed into Lethbridge zone. And it is Adair holding on to it. One-handed by Chasko. We'll see how aggressive Coach Bill Peters chooses to be with Brady Smith, if they elect to pull him at all. They are chasing a significant margin, and they will need to show some signs of life, the Canes, before perhaps they think about going to the whip. As it is Adair in his own zone. Lead pass intended for Gazowski. Intended for Norrie, swept away by Kason Fisher, who earned the praise of Silvertips head coach Steve Hamilton prior to the game. Said he has embraced his situation, being in and out of the lineup in a crowded roster. A defensive core heavily laden with future pros and veterans. And as a 17-year-old rookie has come in and has learned with each passing day, as that's an icing against Lethbridge. This is the 10th game of the Western Hockey League career of Kason Fisher, who comes to the Silvertips as a reigning Manitoba U18 League champion, a TELUS Cup silver medalist for the Brandon Wheat Kings U18 squad. Was the MU18HL D-Man of the year, led the league in points with 51 from the blue line. And he hasn't missed a step. Face-off won by Lethbridge in their own zone. Doyle crosses for Chadwick. Up the left side, Gazowski up into the air. It lands near corner. Darren Smith gives over towards Caden Hemmel, one of those pro-drafted D-men. Up for Miettinen. Entering in, drops for Bear. Bear, Miettinen, backdoor for Smith and couldn't connect. In the neutral zone, picked up by Heslop, who re-enters with Hamill. Airborne puck sent rink wide with 1:50 to go in regulation. Julian Mays over to his left, finds Hamill. On the outside, sauces to Smith. Didn't get all of it. A shot saved by Brady Smith. Loose near circle, scooped by McKenzie. Finagles it to Julian Mays in the trapezoid. Run down from behind by Noah Chadwick. Pile up of bodies behind the Lethbridge cage. And it is Brayar motioning the puck out to the neutral zone. Looking for Taryn Smith. Batted back to center. And Logan McCutcheon holds with 1:15 left in regulation time. Entering up the left side, here comes Edwards. Lowering his shoulder, a backhander off the shoulder of Garrett. Loose behind the net, Eric Jameson. Up into the air, Sharp into the near corner. Trickling puck out towards the blue line, cut off by Edwards. Holding far wall, met by McKenzie, backhanded, loose in the high slot, taken by Raymond and flopped out to center. Back to retrieve is Will Sharp. Rolling puck behind the net, Alex Garrett moves it up the left wing wall. Taken by McCutcheon, crosses for Sharp, 25 seconds left. Shot blocked by Jackson Vaughn, up into the stands, out of play, 24.1 to go. Face-off will be to the right of Garrett, who to this point is 32 for 32. Chasko on the dot opposite Trey Johnson. Tied up and won over to the near wall by Lethbridge. Lesiuk leaves for Ward. Rolling puck out to the far point. Chipped along the wall. Johnson keeps it moving. Cut off by Liskey. Taps it over for Wilkie. Centers it out for Chasko. 5 seconds left. Gloved down by Adair. 2 seconds in one. Adair with one last shot. A save by Garrett. And the second career Western Hockey League shutout for Alex Garrett. Nastiness at the gun. As Ward has to be pulled away from Garrett. But that will do it. Wednesday night in the dub ends in 2 points for Everett. And for Alex Garrett, his first clean sheet as a Silvertip, his second in the Western Hockey League. 33 saves. It matches the total he made back on January the 26th as a member of the Calgary Hitmen when he blanked the Brandon Wheat Kings 8-0. He does so when all eyes in the league are on this matchup. And the Tips have blanked the Central Division leaders. We're back with the happy recap in just a moment. You're listening to Sound Transit Tips Hockey on KRKO and Wednesday night in the Dub on YouTube and CHL TV.
Ashton Wolf here with Wolf Plumbing and Wolf Fire Protection. We're proud to support Everett Silvertips hockey and frontline workers in the Puget Sound. For 5 decades, we've worked hard on the I-5 corridor and are now offering plumbing and fire sprinkler service contracts and maintenance for commercial, mixed-use, and multifamily buildings. We take pride in serving you, and we take pride in those serving to get us through the pandemic. Thanking all who help us live and work safely. Find us on the web at wolfpi.com. Go Tips.
Skip the big box stores and head to Judd & Black all November for deals like $1,000 off a KitchenAid stainless steel French door refrigerator. The new Maytag Pet Pro laundry set, now only $19.98. On top of unbeatable savings, we're offering 0% financing. And check out our site for Judd & Black Fridays. Exclusive deals launching every Friday in November on top name brands like GE Profile. Learn more at juddblack.com. See what's in store during the Judd & Black November sales event.
Hockey Wolf is the Pacific Northwest premier hockey retailer with locations at Northgate, Olympic View, and Bellevue. Hockey Wolf staff are experts in the industry and use cutting-edge technology like the Bauer Fit Lab, the most advanced skate fitting experience. Using state-of-the-art scanning to identify the unique qualities of your feet, Hockey Wolf's team can help you find the perfect skate or get a custom design one to enhance your stride and on-ice performance, taking your game to the next level. Available now at all Hockey Wolf locations.
Not that long ago, you knew your customers by their name, closed deals with a handshake, and your promise meant everything. These days, the technology has changed, but the values are still the same at Screen Printing Northwest. Whether you're getting shirts for your event, embroidered uniforms for your business, or custom hats for a sports team, Screen Printing Northwest wants to earn your business. Reliable, seamless, human. ScreenPrintingNW.com, the premier decorator.
Now it's the postgame show, sponsored by Tulalip Resort Casino, on your station for Sound Transit Everett Silvertips hockey, KRKO AM 1380 and FM 95.3. Everett's greatest hits, sports, and more.
The Everett Silvertips pitch a shutout on Wednesday night in the Dub on YouTube and CHL TV, a game that is free for hockey fans everywhere. All eyes on this matchup, and the Tips blank the Central Division leaders. Casey Bryant back on the Sound Transit Silvertips Radio Network. We'll take you through the scoring summary presented by Mountain Pacific Bank. It started 10:41 in the second period. After a fight from Jackson Vaughn, drew of extra penalty. Silvertips down a man, but Jesse Heslop is able to pick the pocket and pot a backhander short-handed for his 14th of the year. With Hamill and Jamison, here's a pickoff. Here comes Heslop breaking in short-handed. Jesse Heslop scores! Jesse Heslop buries a shorty, and the Silvertips grab the lead. Later on in the second period at 13:44, fresh over the bench boards, Kane Wilkie roofs one for his 6th of the year. Mays through center, poked at by Norrie. Nearly a good takeaway. Fresh over the bench, here's Wilkie entering in as Whistler. Score! A snipe from Kane Wilkie puts the Silvertips up by 2. Third goal of the game goes to Eric Jamison, a blast on the power play at 16:34, assisted by DuPont and Bear. He waits and feeds the one-timer. Score! Power play blast from Eric Jamison. It's 3-0 Everett. And finally, 29 seconds into the third period with the Tips back on the power play. It takes just 4 seconds for them to find the back of the net. It's Julius Miettinen tapping in his 6th of the year. Braden Edwards will go for interference. Here's a drive by Raymond Wide. Rebound, score! Quick work! Power play goal! Silvertips up 4-0. Your 3 stars of the game presented by Symetria Integrative Medical. 3rd star from the Tips with a goal, Eric Jameson. 2nd star with a couple of assists, Carter Bear. 1st star with 33 saves and a shutout, Alex Garrett. Back with one last look around the league when we come back. You're listening to Sound Transit Tips Hockey on KRKO.
We've all had to change plans or miss events over the last couple of years. We're ready to spend more time together. And fewer sick days mean more time with friends and family. The COVID-19 vaccine is a safe, effective way to lower the chance of severe illness. Keep yourself and your loved ones safe and healthy. Get vaccinated, get boosted, and get more time together. Learn more at www.snohd.org/COVID vaccine.
I was 17 and a fender bender and scared to death. Dad says, don't worry about it, son. Bob will take care of everything. So I'm thinking, who the heck's Bob? Turns out Bob's our Levitt Group Northwest insurance agent. He takes care of our home, cars, even the family business. See, Levitt Group works with most major insurance companies, getting you the best coverage and rates. I have my own family now, but I still call Bob. You should too at gocallbob.com. Gocallbob.com. Insurance the Northwest trusts. Get it at Levitt.
Are you looking for an entertainment destination that truly has something for everyone? If so, look no further than Dave & Buster's at the Alderwood Mall. With hundreds of the latest arcade games, delicious food and drinks, and exciting events. They are the perfect spot for a fun night out with friends or family and is the place to watch all that sports have to offer on their 40-foot wow wall. For endless fun and entertainment, head to the Alderwood Mall or online at Dave & Buster's.